Brought to you by Make Fun Network.
Welcome to the Top 5 of Death, where listeners vote, and everyone dies. Listen and die.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Top 5 of Death. I'm your host, Matt. Just ate a clementine before Charles hit record, and I didn't realize Bistany. So I have pieces of clementine in my mouth. I am trying to hide them in my cheeks like a chipmunk or a hamster or one of those animals, and do my best to do this intro without spinning or sounding odd. But we're here, and we're having fun, and we're going to do a show. What does everyone think about that? Huh? Is everyone ready for a show? Let me hear you out there. Woo! We need to start treating our at-home listeners as a studio audience and be like, give it up if you want me to say the N-word. Woo! See, there we go. Oh, I wish. But we're all here, which is nice. Sam, how are you? What's new? How's your week?
Week's been good. Just working on gearing up for the second leg of the Greatest Adventure.
Is it as long or shorter, or what's the difference between this new leg and the last leg, besides one being right and one being left?
We'll be down south for most of it.
Hillbilly dogs.
Hillbilly dogs. That's where it's going to be warm come March. So that's where we're headed. It'll be about between 2 and 3 months, something like that. We're hitting the road in March, and then be back the end of May, something like that. We did get a couple really good pieces of news in the last week. Two of the 3 dogs that are still looking for homes have now been adopted. Vigo the Malinois, who really needed a very specific owner, was adopted by this army vet who looks super cool. Seems like exactly the type of guy that would own this dog. And then Val, who was in our last episode out in Moab, the dog that I was like, how are you not adopted? She got adopted yesterday. So
Nice.
That was good because she had been in the shelter for 2 years, which is trash.
Oh, shit. What the hell was I going to say? What the hell was I going to say? Well, here's a different question. Do when these people come in to adopt the dogs, are they like, oh, I saw this dog on the show, on this YouTube show?
A couple of them have mentioned it. So Val was
Nice.
adopted because of someone who saw her on the video, which is the best feeling. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so good news all around. Other than that, just hanging out. Saw Nosferatu.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I think I was supposed to see it. Fuck. I think I totally just ignored plans.
Yeah, you should see it. I mean, real quick review. Like, it's stunning. It's like a masterpiece of filmmaking for sure. Storyline wise, like, it's Dracula. Like, it's not like, oh, and now there's a twist. It's like, it's Dracula. That's what it is. So if you like that story and you want to see like the best possible version of it, definitely go see it.
Will someone who doesn't give a shit about cinematic mastery enjoy it?
It's pretty sexy.
Oh, I'm in.
Yep. And Count Orlok hangs dong in it.
Really? How is
yeah.
it?
Who plays Count Orlok?
Bill Skarsgård.
Is his dong in it?
I don't know if it's really his or not. Hard to say. We should research
Charles,
it.
can you confirm if it's his dong?
I will look to see if it's Bill Skarsgård's it or not.
All right. Well, that's cool. Oh, I remember my question now.
Shoot.
All the stuff for the show.
Mm-hmm.
When the show's done, what's your plan with all that stuff? You just gonna keep doing the show, or you just own a Winnebago now, or whatever? RV.
I think that we'll probably continue to do some version of it. It might not be with an RV or whatever, and it might not even be filmed because it's just like kind of the nonprofit's mission is to do that sort of thing for dogs that need it, and it might just be us doing that sort of thing, going on an adventure with a dog, posting it on social media, trying to get that dog adopted, but not necessarily filming the whole thing. But hey, listen, if we get the funding, we'll keep on going.
What if you started a adult show called the Doghouse, and you take the RV and you drive around, and it's just like Bang Bus, but you have people bang inside of a doghouse. And it's only doggy style, and you can incorporate, dudes and ladies and dudes strap. It's a lot of stuff you can do.
Do we know that this doesn't already exist?
I know it doesn't exist. I've been looking for it. I can't seem to find it. I've been trying to scratch an itch here.
Yep. Listen, I like it.
Just a thought. Just a thought. Okay.
There's money in it, so.
Oh my God! Of course. Yeah. All right. Will, I want to follow that. What's up with you? How's your week?
My week was pretty decent. I just want to wish everyone a happy International French Soup Day.
Finally.
And Sam, you're noticeably absent from LA. I feel like that's where you should be right now, getting some really good footage of rescuing dogs out of burning houses.
Some hot dogs.
Yeah, run toward. Oh no, we'll run towards the fire. Man, that's scary shit going on out there. It's we drove by a fire like that when we were in California.
Yeah, did you take some footage or something like that?
I don't actually think we got anything of it because it was like impacting a lot of like what we were trying to do in the area when we were filming around Lake Tahoe. They had like one of the major roads into Lake Tahoe was closed down because of a fire. We drove by it one night and they let you drive pretty close to it.
Which, you can come closer. Come on.
Which is crazy, but like, man, how quickly they move and like how intense it is, even from like where you're allowed to be, is freaking wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy ass shit.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for the millionaire houses, but all the poor pets that get left behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It's a whole thing. So, all right, well, is that it? Anything else new, Will?
Nothing else really. Watching my sister's dogs, so if you hear a cacophony of barking, it's because I have these two little shit dogs that instigate.
Nice.
One of them I heard Rosa just a minute ago yelling at him because one of them shit on the rug.
Is it that number 5? There it is.
Yeah.
Charles, what's new with you?
Not much. I'm working on episode 5 of Greatest Adventure. I also finally got to work a short gig, like literally a 24-hour gig for a college.
Oh.
Uh-oh. You should probably work on the gig at his house.
For a college, literally 4 hours of work.
Hold on, Charles. You froze entirely. So start that story over.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My internet keeps lagging out for some reason.
That's okay.
So,
That can fill a lot of time.
wow. Yeah.
My daughter's walking.
Now she has to walk into it. She has to walk right through it.
I'm sorry. Huh?
Bringing Matt his second breakfast of the morning, per usual.
You're gonna 11sies.
Yeah. But yeah, got to work a short gig, and then yesterday we took the nice easy transition into what's the topic, but it's not one of the stories. But we took our dogs to the dog park, which we rarely do, because Ace is a little dog selective. Mainly, he doesn't like huskies. Like he's just straight up racist against them for some reason.
Yo,
but
based.
yeah, Nala loves all dogs. Gets along with him perfectly fine. Ace is a little selective, but usually perfectly fine. So we get there, let him go. I would kind of walk him around on the leash until he seems fine, and yeah, he goes up, like running around, just getting to meet everybody. And Ace is like a boxer pit bull mix, so he looks like a pit bull. And then Husky comes in. Basically, everyone knows this Husky, and the dog is immediately walking around just barking.
In a good way or a bad way, they know the Husky.
Good way, because they all know her name and everything. Like this is the dog park is basically a clique. Like everyone knows everyone. If you're an outsider, you definitely feel like you're an outsider here. Yep.
An outsider, like
Yeah.
Too sweet.
So many
Scott
drops.
Hall.
So many drops.
So yeah, if you're not part of like what is it? If you're not part of the wolf pack, you're not here. Like you're not part of it. But Ace is kind of walking around just smelling, and he walks up to the husky, and they're doing that thing that dogs do where they kind of just stare at each other, and you can see both of their tails going. And then the husky just decides to attack him. And so the owner of the husky is an older lady. She keeps getting in the way. I know how to separate dogs. He's not fighting back. It's literally the husky is like trying to bite onto his scruff the whole time. And then I eventually move her and just grab him and walk off with him.
Him being...
And then my dog.
Okay.
Ace. And then I kind of put him on the leash because then he, even though he has been attacked, he's also like, I still want to go up and meet this dog. Like, he doesn't get it.
Listen.
Yeah.
I think I can fix this.
So I kind of have him on the leash and walking away, and then someone else brings their other dog in. That dog is also dog reactive and then gets up in Ace's face. And so I also have to remove him. And now Ace looks like he's the one who's the bad dog. Because he's not from there. He's been in 2 incidences. So I just I just turned to Jess and I was like, I'm just going to take him back to the car because I don't want him to continue to be like, people are going to be like, oh, he's new. He's the problem dog here. So we take him back. And then Nala, our dog, gets in a scruff with another dog who is ball possessive. And since Nala's playing with a ball the whole time, the dog gets it. This is like secondhand from Jess because she was still in there with her. Nala apparently decides to fight back because she rarely ever does. She's just a nice dog. And then so the owner,
the Owen Hart of dogs. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Yeah. The owner of the dog, who's like, I guess Jess said he was like maybe an 18-year-old kid, grabs Nala and yanks her off by her harness, which sends her rolling. And Jess was like, all right, we're gonna go now. And I was like, you're lucky I wasn't the one in there, because I probably would have yanked that child. I probably would have yanked that kid. Be like, no, do not grab my dog like that. Your dog's the problem. But you know what? We were the 2 new people there, and apparently everyone else's dogs are perfectly fine, even though our dogs were the ones who got basically ganged up on.
You know, it's funny. I have someone on the line from the other side of the story here.
Oh yeah,
that'd be so funny if I did though.
Yeah. Here's the owner of Luna.
Came in here, thinks he owns the fucking place. He's got this tall ass motherfucker and his 2 dogs. His one dog is fucking playing with a ball, just teasing the other dogs, teasing them away. And then my son, who's a beautiful boy, he's an Eagle Scout, and he's got a full scholarship to Brandeis. And his dog. He had to save his dog from this motherfucker's piece of shit dogs. Fuck you.
Do you follow the realtor dog that has that exact voice?
No.
Dog the bounty hunter realtor?
No, I'll give you the Instagram later. But there's a dog, and they put like a Karen wig on her, and
Oh, I've seen that.
oh my god, she's so funny, and he gives her that exact voice.
It's a good voice.
It is.
Huh?
Oh man, yeah, clementines are good, man.
Ain't no tangerine.
If someone held the clementine and a tangerine in front of you, could you tell?
Absolutely not.
Charles?
No.
Will? Fuck you.
Tangerines
This
are bigger,
motherfucker
aren't they?
coming in here thinking he can tell a tangerine from a fucking clementine. What a piece of shit.
What about a baby orange?
What about it? If it had a diaper on, I'd know.
Fantastic.
I am underwater busy, is how busy I am. I have so much to do to get the house ready. And my cat... Can anyone hear my cat screaming outside?
Yes.
You want a pet
Yep.
story? I'll give you a fucking pet story, right? Goddamn.
My number 5 is that time I murdered my cat on the top 5 of death.
Got a lot of views though.
Yeah, this will be on Reddit. Man murders cat on mediocre podcast.
Say it now. Say it now. Say more. Say more. Oh. There's poop in the barnyard. P.U. Somebody did it. Fucking useless cat. Like her eyes really like come through in the Like how fucked up
Yeah.
they are in the camera. I can't hear you because I have headphones on. Anyway, this is Freddie. She had scarring on her eyes when she was a kitten. And she's a little baby butthole. And she can go there.
For those of you
That's a great
listening,
thing.
that just heaved his cat across the room.
It's fucking cat.
Sick
You
thing
see,
about-
landed perfect.
Yeah, they're cats.
Yeah, they love that. That's what she came in for, to get tossed. Now she looks. She's in the back. She's gonna go in the. She's gonna find a little hole in the curled up blankets. Anyway, yeah, I got so much to do. I have so much to do. But so the realtor had this lady who was like, "Oh, I have this woman I work with. She does like packing and staging." Okay. And he's like, I always pay the first 2 hours of their service and like whatever. So she came over, like looked at the house and was like talking about what she does. Very nice. And the late, so basically what her service is she'll pack you up to like kind of move, and also like kind of stage stuff and pack it in like, I don't know. It was kind of like she'll pack it in a way where like you'll know where everything is and like blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So she quoted me for this service to like basically pack stuff up for 3 days, $1,500. I said no.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
I said
Yeah.
I said no. So I'm just gonna use her for. I was like I'll just have you come in like one day and just kind of like stage and like do like little things for best practices for like the house or whatever. But man, $1,500 to like just do something that I could just probably do in like one day. And they were gonna be like 2 people, and also like I don't know, I want to pack my stuff because like it's my stuff, and like sure, this Overwatch statue might not look like much, but I like it, and I would like it to be packed gingerly. But I don't know. So that's just where I'm at. I'm like, as soon as this podcast is over, I got to go, treat and skim coat and sand the walls in the bathroom and scrape paint, and then let that dry, and then go get paint and come back and sand it and paint it and finish it. It's a whole thing. And then I
I
got to
hate doing drywall.
it's
the
poo
worst.
poo. I have to. And then I have another big drywall. I gotta cut out like a 3x3 square in my kitchen ceiling and just patch it.
That's fun.
So that's fun. I don't do this shit. I got into IT stuff, so I don't do this stuff. I can
This
only
is
do
like-
this stuff if it's a haunted house, and that's because it doesn't need to look good.
This is the type of stuff I do. Like, I got into editing stuff, and then I decided, like, oh, I could also do handyman shit.
Then come patch my fucking ceiling.
Yeah, you gonna pay my day rate?
I'll listen. I'll pay you
It's-
more than you make now.
You're not wrong.
Paint my
I
fence.
was gonna say,
Those balloons are
say-
lousy.
if you think 1,500 for 3 days is a lot, whew, you should see an editor's day rate, depending on how high the editor is.
Yeah, but that requires a skill set that I can like acknowledge took years of time. Not packing things into a box.
Glorified
really-
UPS worker.
She's really good at it, though.
I know that. I was like, so the realtor called back. He's like, oh, did you meet with so and so? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, what'd you think? I was like, well, it's pretty steep. I was like, it's pretty steep there. I was like, I'm trying to move, not move. So I don't want to spend that kind of money. But I don't know. We'll see. So I just got a bunch of stuff to do. But that's where I'm at, babies.
You could just walk out of the house too. Just take the kids and be like, as is.
You think I haven't crossed my mind? There's stuff in the attic I don't want to touch. It's been there since I moved in. It's been there the entire time this house has like existed, from like my wife's grandfather. Mm-hmm. It's like old, scary. Actually, I might take it for the haunted house, to be honest. But like old, scary kids' mattresses and beds. I'm like, yeah. Actually, you know what? No, maybe we'll take it. Oh, that's another thing too. I got contacted by like the city of Everett to do like an actual real haunted house, so that was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I might have a haunt going on, but we'll see.
Let us know.
I will, guys. Everyone's doing great. Everyone's doing great. Sam,
Yo.
do you have? Hold on. Have you been wearing those glasses this whole time?
Yes.
I didn't know you were a lesbian.
Listen, they bring out the blue in my eyes. You can only see them on the YouTube, so make sure to subscribe there to see these glasses.
I still love the way that the top of your headphones rest on the top of your hair.
I don't know how to not make them
I know,
do that.
it's so funny. It's just so funny.
What I really need, I need a nice angle like Will's got. He's got the camera at an angle.
Will's got the good angle. I can't do anything like that. In the new house, I should have like an actual office set up. That's like part of the the desire here is to like I'll have a thing. Oh, I bought an Xbox Series X too.
Sick.
So I can play Marvel Rivals. It's still in the box. I've had it for it's like 5 days, so it's going great.
I can't wait for like a month from now.
I've already considered not even opening it till after I moved, which is months from now.
Wow. The kid versions of us would be so disappointed.
Oh my
God!
god!
Yes.
When you come in home from, you got a game, you just want to open it in the car and read the book.
Yeah, oh my god! Remember the book? Oh,
Yo, I have a PC I can play any game on I want. I have a Nintendo Switch and I have a PS4 Pro that I bought just to play like 3 games. I don't use any. I just play Fall Guys at this point. That's all I have time for. I just play Fall
game to
Guys. Yeah, it's a great
I
game.
can play that
but
still.
I pop
should
in
play.
for an hour and I'm done. Mainly because I have commitment issues to finishing Baldur's Gate 3. I have one mission.
Play
One.
Detroit. You have PS4 Pro. Get Detroit. You'll want to end your own life.
I don't even know if my PlayStation turns on. I haven't turned it on since I moved here.
What is
I don't
it
know if
doing
it, it's just sitting in the entertainment system. It probably I think Red Dead Redemption 2, RDR2 is still sitting in the game.
You have a disc version of a game?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I bought it used.
I guess that's true. I guess there's no more used. I guess with digital, it's no used. I mean, it's marked down, right? But it's no used.
Yeah. I went to GameStop and bought it.
Yeah.
So.
You'll never know if someone touched their dick before touching the disc with a digital
Anymore.
version.
That the magic
is
of
true.
the magic of buying a used game.
The thrill.
You'll never know if the book will be included with it.
Oh my god! I think I bought a used game one time, and someone just printed out like a home printed version of like what was in the book. Just,
They would do that at Blockbuster.
Oh,
really?
They did do that. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I worked at Blockbuster and I loved it. The longest job I had before having real jobs. But anyway, Sam, you won.
I did. Unprecedented.
Yeah. What I don't even know. I don't even remember what the episode was.
Predictions for old 2025. And I mean, listen, that Bob Dylan biopic is in the theater right now. And
Chalamet?
With Chalamet, and it's all the rage right now.
Before you start.
Yes.
Did anyone watch the Golden Globes?
No.
No.
I've seen some clips from the host, but that's it.
Nikki Glaser, right? That was the host?
Yeah.
Actual good job. Actual good host. So I just wanted to give a little like in a world where hosting has been a fucking nightmare. She did actually a really, really good job. So it was good.
Also, Demi Moore won for The Substance.
Oh, did she?
She did.
I got something to say about this because I saw The Substance last night. Demi Moore did a fine job, but this is when she won. She beat Cynthia Erivo, who did from Wicked, who sang live and did her own stunts flying around. Demi Moore winning the Golden Globe is similar to when they just gave Sandra Bullock an Oscar for The Blind Side. They're like, here you go. We know you're not going to have another chance, so here you go. Substance was I can't believe though that thing did. It's incredible that it got nominated, like The Substance, because that's a movie you don't see getting nominated with everything else that's happening, and there's a strong chance apparently it could get an Oscar nomination. So
It's a body horror movie, right?
yeah, that's why it's wild that it's getting nominated, and she won for it.
She's really good in it, though.
Was she better in that or Striptease?
Ooh, you do see more in The Substance, I think.
Oh, you see it all.
Oh, okay.
She-
All right, well, I think
She does
Go
have a
ahead.
little Hank Hill butt.
excuse me. What?
She does. She's like you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, huh? I check that out.
Yeah.
I think we've iced Sam enough.
There we go.
Come on, play it right.
I know. I gotta turn in my Berkeley degree. Yeah. Hang with me for this one. There's some words to it. Yeah, 2025 is gonna be the year for me. All the children on the streets singing. 2025, that's gonna be my year. All the children on the street keep singing. They're singing, oh? And they're singing, oh. Well, it's February 14th, that's Valentine's Day, and Matt is celebrating in his most romantic way. That's by waiting in line at the Jordan's IMAX in Reading, Mass. Yeah, his teeth are shining like pearls, and his head's in a whirl, 'cause by his side is his girl, and most important, it's Captain America, Brave New World. You know, the one with the red Hulk. After standing in line for some considerable time, he grabs his favorite seat, sits down, puts up his feet. It's a day that can never be beat. And the film is great, and Matt can't wait to celebrate. Yeah, it's a real humdinger. He waits patiently through the credits until the film's stinger. And his heart does a zinger when up on the screen he sees who he believes is Marvel's next savior. Making his big comeback is Jonathan Majors. And the audience boos so loud that Matt stands up to the crowd and begins to shout, everything this man did should be allowed. And there's screaming and hissing from the audience now, so Matt does what Matt does, and Matt doubles down. And he flips the bird and he grabs a sack, and the crowd, oh boy, does it ever attack. And Matt's punched in the lip and stabbed in the back, and someone pours acid down his butt crack, which some might think to be an overreaction to a man who just wanted to see some action from a superhero franchise that's again gaining traction. And so Matt died defending a man's right to assault his wife. Yeah, day or night. Oh, it's 2025 and all the children on the street keep singing. Oh, yeah, they keep singing. Oh, 2025, baby. And it's Saturday night on April 19th. It's the main event of WrestleMania. And John Cena is there trying to break Ric Flair's long-standing record. His opponent in the fight of the night is the reigning defending heavyweight champion, Charles F. McDonald, who by claiming to be a Make-A-Wish kid swindled his way into beating Gunther in the Elimination Chamber, thus becoming champion just before Mania. And who, because of a real-life unfortunate recessive gene that had both puzzled and repulsed those in the medical profession, has garnered the moniker the Red Menace. It's no more than 30 seconds in the scuffle when John Cena gives Charles the Red Menace F. McDonald his patented finishing maneuver, the five-knuckle shuffle. And due to John Cena's rustiness, there is a slight mistake which causes Cena's knuckles to plow first into and then through Charles's fragile face, obliterating his skull and brain in front of 80,000 screaming members of the WWE Universe. But that's ultimately okay, because at the end of the day, it's John Cena with a historic 17th reign. And it was worth all the pain, except for Charles.
2025, it's gonna be my year. All the children in the street keep singing.
Oh. Yeah, they're singing. Oh.
Then it's July 11th, it's a hot summer day. Will Valentine in his backyard grilling the day away. He's got a brewski in one hand and his wife by his side, and he looks up at the bright blue sky and says, ooh, it's a wonderful life. Then he hears the howling of sirens and sees the flashing of lights. Men in black suits ready to break down the door, ready for a fight. They say we're here to collect you, ain't no one to protect you. You better be ready, cause there's a mountain of evidence to implicate you along with Diddy.
That's Sean Combs.
And rows of protests say you got it all wrong, until the FBI produces photos of Will's dong. And what that dong is doing is so very wrong. Yeah, what that dong is doing in those photos is wrong, too wrong for the song. And Rosa screams, Will, I've suspected you all along. You said all those nights you were out playing Pong, but evidently you were bonging your schlong off some gong to celebrate something that was oh so very wrong, that you and P. Diddy had going on for what was unfortunately so very long. So now let me grab these grill tongs, these extremely hot tongs. And before the FBI or Mr. Valentine had time to deny the actions of a scorned wife, Rosa seared those tongs through Will's too short shorts and yeeted his Peter into the neighbor's yard. And Will's black heart, much like his beloved chicken connection, did go out of business. It's 2025, all the children in the street keep singing. Oh, they keep singing. And I, Sam Haddix, just have one thing to say to the fun butts who cast their vote for me this day. I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, where the fuck have you been for the last 26 weeks? You can all get fucked. 2025!
Okay. All right. First things first.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Allegedly assaulted his wife, his girlfriend. Okay. Second thing, has it been 26 weeks since you won?
I don't know. That was a guess, but
Oh.
I didn't want to do the math.
I'll say that's a full 6 months.
It's been since at least July. I haven't won since we went on the road trip, so
That's crazy.
yeah. All right, now I can take these glasses off because I don't have to read those lyrics anymore.
Oh, yeah, that was Sam. That was it's Goosebumps is still my favorite, but that might be the best song from like a objective standpoint.
Thanks, I was in the
Your
zone.
Dylan impression was spot on.
Yeah, and then like it like shifted in and out of like that and like Connor Oberst, and I was like, wait a minute, Connor Oberst is just ripping off Bob Dylan.
Newsflash.
There you go. That was good though. Great job.
Thank you.
Here.
Here.
Should we get this party started?
Let's do it.
Charles, I think this is your pick.
Yeah. We're doing top 5 pet stories.
Okay.
Since we're all pet owners and we have not done this topic. So that works. Did anyone want to start? I guess I can start. I'll start.
All right. You're the winner.
I'll take it while my internet's currently still working. I don't know what's going on. It's probably something to do with we did get a gigantic snowstorm and it's still happening. We still got a shit ton of snow sitting around. But yeah, I can start with one. And it's one I've kind of like told already because it is one of my favorite ones. My number 5 is the time I left a full jar of cashews in one of my travel bags after a
I haven't
race.
heard this.
Oh, yeah, I came back from a race and I had like one of those giant, like, you know, like jars of cashews that you buy for like, oh, this will last me like a month or something.
It's $60.
No, this was before. This was like 2016, 2017.
Oh, well,
so
we had a good
before.
economy and a good.
Yeah,
good
so it
ratio.
was like $5, something like that at Wegmans. Now it's probably like 15. But yeah, had it, came back from the race, it was just sitting in my travel bag, zipped up and everything. Was like, all right, I'm gonna go down the street, pick up my coffee and breakfast burrito. Came back and my 20-pound dog Lexi ate half the jar.
Imagine chomping that many cashews.
As a
Like in
human, that's
cashew-
a lot.
Yeah, like cashew butter in your mouth.
Yeah,
Make me feel so rich.
King of the cashew. King of the cashew.
Well, this is why I decided to tell it again, because Sam kind of gave me the punchline to it once, which was the next day when she pooped, she basically just pooped all cashews, and it was she Sam, like you said, it was basically a payday bar. Is what she pooped out. So
It tastes like one.
you know what? She has a nice caramelized poop. Matt, I wasn't sure if
Oh.
you were frozen or you were listening.
I'm listening.
You were completely still on my end. You didn't move at all. Udo. Wow.
Wow,
that
that's
man-
good.
That's good. Look at this. This is good
Haunted
audio
house
content.
training, baby.
Yeah.
Good live content.
Yeah.
That's
Is he
so
fake?
many.
Is he real?
That's so many goddamn cashews for a dog to eat. That's crazy.
And she pooped payday bars for I think it was
Did you eat one?
3. No, I saved it for later. Yes. But yeah, it's the only time she's actually pooped inside. She had pooped inside too, which I was like, you know what? I don't blame you. But it was cashew turd, cashew turd, cashew turd
Oh man.
for one morning, night, and the next morning, and then she was back to normal at that point. But this is what I was very lucky it was cashews because they're not poisonous to dogs apparently.
Yeah,
Good.
so, where do you go to post those for sale online? Because there's someone that's just like, oh,
I could have.
finally.
Yeah. Finally, get those recycled nutrients from dogs,
Oh my god.
from the highest quality dog food.
Yeah, you gain
Real
their dog
question.
power.
Has anyone tasted shit of any kind?
I don't. I'm gonna preface this say I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
There's a
Will?
there's a chance.
Even on accident or something flung
So,
out.
What do you mean
what
even
I was
on
saying.
accident? Of course on accident.
well, mine was by accident, of course. And I didn't taste it, but it was a morsel that ended up in my mouth.
Oh,
How?
boo.
How do you think?
He was fucking eating ass.
You were trying a payday bar.
I wasn't a human centipede.
You were.
How do you think? I fucking wound up in a human
hole.
centipede. What, you've never wound up in a human centipede? Excuse me. Was it from eating ants?
Yeah.
This is why you prep. You have to prep before you do that.
Oh
In my defense,
God.
it was human.
Defense? Who's attacking you? I mean, listen. You play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Is all I'm saying. Oh man, that's. Oh man. I
don't recommend
want
it.
this whole episode to change focus.
Weird
I'm not
things
going
Very
to.
wholesome.
But man, so what happened?
We can save the details for Valentine's Day. Top 5 kinky stories
All right, fine. We'll save
that
it
went
for
wrong.
then. We'll save it for then. Oh my god, that's such an absolute fear of mine.
Yeah,
I don't do any-
play
I
that
don't do-
game then.
Yeah, I don't do any butt stuff at all because of
Oh,
that.
well, you missed out. You're missing
I
out.
don't. I'm playing it safe. I'm not missing
No,
out.
you're
on
missing
anything.
out.
But weekly, you talk about wanting somebody to get milked.
Yeah, that's fine. That's to me. That's like a normal situation.
Yeah.
But there's poop
If
in the
you
butt.
And it's where it lives.
It's where it lives, it's where it resides, and then it moves out. Sells his house as is, doesn't have to fix the bathroom, and then leaves. I Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of this episode, so someone else can go. But this is just top of mind from now on.
Also,
This is almost on par as.
I hate the term morsel, by the way.
Yeah. When I think of morsel, I think of like a crumb of cake that fell off the cake. To me, that's like the perfect like morsel. So to me, they're just like a little cake crumb of poo poo, and you're like, what is that? No, that's human shit.
I mean, a little less than a morsel, maybe like a sesame seed.
Oh, that's not bad.
You sure it wasn't just a sesame
Who
seed?
are you people? What show is
Stuck
this?
on my tooth.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if it was me, I could have just took my teeth out and rinsed them in the sink. Dude. Also, I just realized the way I'm sitting now looks like I got like budding boobs.
Nice. You're
Buddies.
a woman
What's
now.
going on?
Bubbies.
You puppies.
I got my babies. Let me fix this tit right there. Tit fix.
Listen, I think this is probably a good what am I trying to say? Transition into
Yeah,
my
sure.
number 5,
Here we go.
which I'm calling a brown wind.
A brown what?
A brown wind.
Wind. Oh my god. This show's this is the first explicit show we've ever done.
The old poo poo pee pee show.
Poop a pee pee fart show.
So, as some of you may know, Kaylee and I photograph dogs for a living. Some of these
You
stories,
don't say.
some of these stories might revolve around that. But about 10 years ago, at this point, we had a shoot with 4 dogs, which is a lot of dogs, and they were big dogs. There was like a Doberman and a pit bull and a shepherd and like a lab, I think. And we used to photograph all the time at this place south of Boston called Webb Park. This is a really great place to be able to catch the sunset. So we're there and we're starting off the shoot. And normally what would happen is, the owner or owners would show up with the dogs. And what we've learned kind of since this point is like, you got to over-explain everything. And you got to say like, hey, while we photograph one dog, please hold the other 3 and, just keep them calm and behaved and that sort of thing. And then we'll take them one at a time. But these owners back then, I think we were too afraid to say anything. They were just like, we're just going to let them all run free. And we're like, okay. And so we're working with one dog and the other 3 are splashing around in the ocean. This is on a little peninsula. And they're having a great time. They're just playing. They're not causing any trouble. But, we have to wrangle one at a time. And what we didn't realize is that one of the dogs, the Doberman, who was about 200 pounds, had been this entire time drinking salt water. Like just drinking ocean water, because basically it would like jump into it, swim through it with its mouth open, and just like a whale, just inhale all the salt water. And so it's time for the group shot. And normally what we would do is like if we were on dry land, we'd put a stake in the ground and we'd tie the dogs back to the stake so that basically they all wind up side by side. We don't want one dog way out front or anything like that. It's best that they're side by side. So because we wanted to photograph them in the water with this group shot, I was like, oh, I see. The only way for this to happen is for somebody to hold all their leashes and hide behind these dogs in the water. And I was like, that person's going to be me. So I grab all the dogs and I pull their leashes into the center of the group, and I get down into the water, get as low and small as I can go so that the dogs' bodies hide me basically, so Kaylee doesn't have to Photoshop me out. And I hide behind the biggest dog for the best hiding spot, which is the Doberman, the gigantic Doberman. And I'm down and I've got all the leashes and I'm just trying to make myself small. And at the last second, the Doberman like moves and we have to like resituate real quick. And just as we resituate, that Doberman projectile diarrheaed directly in front of my face. Like I could feel the wind from it. And it shot straight back, I kid you not, like 4 to 5 feet. Just this incredible stream of diarrhea, which would have been directly into my face mere moments before. So it was a very close call. And the funny thing is that the 2 owners that were there, the guy, he like just got his new truck. And so he's like, I'm not letting this dog into my truck with his diarrhea. And so he
Wait, was it his dog?
yeah. So he made
He's just gonna leave it there.
he made his wife drive to the CVS to buy adult diapers and put them on the dog before they would let him back into the car. So somewhere, and I wish I could find it, somewhere I have a photo of this gigantic Doberman looking so defeated, wearing a diaper in the parking lot of Webb Park. But yeah, that was the closest I ever came to tasting poop. It was too close for comfort, but it wouldn't have been just a morsel. It would have been a fire hose to the face.
A mighty wind indeed.
Yes, a mighty brown wind. All right, that's my number 5.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
I'll go up next. Mine is pretty short and sweet. I had call this one. I did come up with little titles. Mouse on the Loose. And when I was a child, me and my middle child sister each had a pet mouse, and they lived together in a little cage. Turns out that mice are great pets and very smart and capable of getting out of their containers. Mm-hmm. So one day we come home and one of them is missing. I think it was my sister's. So the whole family's, spreading out looking for this pet mouse that jumped out of the cage. And my oldest sister goes to my mom, "Okay, what does it look like?" And without missing a beat, my mom goes, "It looks like a fucking mouse, Jen. If you see a mouse, let us know." I found one. Oh, wrong color.
The stripes are wrong. The mouse stripes.
Basically. We did find the mouse, and it lived a happy couple of more months. That's why mice are great pets.
Yeah, they don't last very long.
And they're fun.
I found a mouse as a kid and fed it someone said they like to eat wheat, and I gave him a frosted mini wheat, and then he just had basically died of diabetic shock.
So side story, a bonus one. I had parakeets, and I ran out of bird food and fed them cereal, and they died.
Oh my god.
I felt so awful.
What a way to go.
And I realized later on, I'm like, of course, they ate the shit out of it because they were hungry, and it expanded, and they blew up inside out. Probably a horrible death.
Would you just
popping
did you come
noise?
did you come home and you're just like, why are there feathers everywhere?
Also, what kind of cereal?
Yeah.
I think it was Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but it lowers your cholesterol.
Unless you're a parakeet.
Unless you're a parakeet. They should put that on the box, really.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. You might have a lawsuit here against General
Yeah,
Mills.
I'm going to sue General Mills, and I'll have to put not
Attach
for
it-
parakeets on every
Attach it to RFK's incoming litigation.
Yeah,
Be like,
it
all
wasn't.
these dyes, and you have to put on the box, may blow up parakeets.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But the mouse on the loose, that was my number 5.
There you go. All right. I don't really have any good pet stories, so I have other people's pet stories that I've heard or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's an old family friend that he lived in a small kind of wintry town, and raised had a reindeer farm. And so he told a story when we were kids, and one of the reindeer were pregnant and gave birth to this reindeer, and it had something. It was born with a abnormality, and it just its nose would glow, and the reindeer had a really hard time getting along with the other reindeer, and they kind of ostracized him a bit here and there. And the guy didn't know what to do. He kind of just left it as was, and it was well, I mean, everything else is fine with it, so we just kind of did that, right? Fast forward to the end of the year, and I guess in the town where he lives, there's this guy who brings he's a charitable guy, and he brings gifts and stuff to other kids. And that day, the day that he was supposed to make the deliveries, it was a massive snowstorm. Oh. And he thought he was gonna have to cancel it, and the town was kind of getting together, and they were like, "Man, this is such a bummer. What are we gonna do?" And then that reindeer that was born earlier that year, its nose just lit up, up the whole area. And then this guy was like, "Hey, would you mind if I had this reindeer lead my deliveries? Because I'll be able to see with that with that leading the way. And the guy was like, yeah, sure. So like what turned out to be like something that like might have been like kind of concerning turned out to be like a really positive thing in the end, and like helped this guy like make all his deliveries, and like, all these people got like the gifts that, they, were hoping to get. And I think the guy adopted the reindeer permanently and just kind of like kept him on staff as like a utility reindeer.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Matt, that's an incredible story of like overcoming like your disability and everything. That's like, what a message. I can't believe you came across this.
Yeah, well, it's a family friend from like, and he just told it when he was a kid. Yeah. I think
what an experience.
The reindeer's name was Mike. He named him Mike.
Strong reindeer name.
Yeah, I think he called him Mike, the birth defect reindeer. So if we were putting titles, we can just do Mike, the birth defected reindeer.
Okay.
But that's my number 5.
She says I'm cute.
Who says that?
The female reindeer.
Oh, have I told you this story before?
Next kid you have, please just tell them that story and keep them away from anything else that resembles that story until they're old enough, and then be like, that's my dad's friend. That's Mike.
Yeah.
I know him.
Mike, the birth defective reindeer, had a really fucked up nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say, that's a fucked up nose. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and not play with him. And if you ever saw him, you say, that's a fucked up nose.
There you go.
Yep.
Dead one snowy end of year. This guy came to say, Mike, with your nose fucked up, won't you put the fucking your face in front of my car? Then I can drive through town and deliver all these DoorDash orders. And if you ever saw him, you'd say that's a fucked up nose.
The song came later.
Easily the second best song in the episode.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm crying.
Oh boy.
All right, Charles, number 4.
My number 4. I don't have a clever title for this, but it's this happened back in like the early 90s, and it was our family's first dog. We decided it would be funny to get her one of those like giant rawhide bones, that are like the length of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like to think about this because it was one of those things before, like on the internet, you can see this shit anytime you want now. But like back when it was only America's Funniest Home Videos, this is the only like type of place you could see it. But I got to experience my dog being excited for her bone, taking it from under the tree and then turning around and walking directly like into the door as the bone was completely sideways, and then just keep watching her just go like running back and forth into it, and then dropping it, walking through the door, turning around, same exact thing, now walking backwards, until we watched her just get, like on her face to figure out and just go turn sideways and just walk out and run off with it. It was, I loved my first dog. Obviously, like yellow lab, like the perfect dog. It's why I can't own another yellow lab at this point. But yeah, I just like thinking about that because now kids can see this shit happen anytime. They can just like pull it up on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube and be like, look at this dog get stuck. But like as a child of the 90s, you didn't get to see that really anywhere unless, again, Bob Saget commented on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I got a big bone. I'm going to track Cobra. Oh, get fit. Ooh.
Yeah.
Should call that one dog math.
Dog. And we're gonna call
Dog
it
math is hard.
Have you ever done that as a human being? Like
Yes.
try to bring something through a door and just be like, oh, like not even thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I used to
Do it
work
all the time.
construction, so trying to carry a sheet of plywood up a staircase.
Oh, yeah.
You just get stuck.
Yeah, Will, you do the stuff. Come patch my fucking ceiling.
No, I fucking hate drywall. I told you. I have
Yeah, but-
drywall I need to do at my house first.
All right, well, you come do mine, then you do yours.
Well, I understand, because I don't. You talked about replacing that piece on your ceiling. I don't know how you're gonna hold it up there with your fucking bum shoulders.
Oh yeah.
No, I'll be fine with that. I can. That's not enough weight. I say that now. I can't wait to call out a next week's episode because I can't. You just double slinged me on the friggin' episode. Just like, yeah, how's it going? I can't. I gotta move the microphone on my face. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Who's up, Sam?
Sam?
Yeah. I'm gonna turn the mood around just for a very sweet story.
Oh, sweet.
This one's is called Meeting Junie.
Oh,
So Junie is one of my current dogs. She has 3 legs and she's very interesting. But I had no plan on getting a second dog. We were super busy. This was 2018 when we got Junie. We were filming our show with Nat Geo and traveling and in workshops and everything, and we were slammed. And we got a message from the guy that runs the MSPCA in Boston, and he messaged Kaylee and he said like, hey, we've got this dog here. She's really special. She just had her front leg amputated, and we'd really like, you know, someone to foster her like while she recovers. And like, I thought of you. And so Kaylee says like, hey, I think when we get back from this trip, we're going to foster a dog. And I was like, the heck we are. Because it was hard enough at that time to get Joshua watched. Because like at that time, when he was 5, like he was a little rambunctious shit. So now finding someone to watch 2 dogs, like if we were to get a second dog, I was like, oh, we can't do that. But anyways, cut to us in the shelter. And I'm sure all of you guys have experienced that shelter environment where it's like, it's pretty much loud and chaotic, like all the time. You walk down the aisle where all the dogs are and everyone goes insane. You know, even if it was quiet, the second they see new people, they just go absolutely batshit. And so we're walking down this aisle with cages on both sides. Every single one of the dogs is going fucking bananas. And then at the cage at the very end of the hall, facing down the hall, is June sitting right in the middle, perfectly quiet, missing her front arm, and just looking at us, not making a sound. And I'm like, all right, you're coming home with us. and so we get her in the car. We're like, all right, weird new dog. Like, let's see how you are in the car. And then she just laid down on Kaylee's lap and slept for the whole way home. And then we got her home and we had her meet Joshua, which was perfect. She just flopped on her back and she was like, I'm submissive. Do whatever you want. And so Joshua was like, good, I like that. And then that first night, it was another one of those like, all right, new dog, will you even let me sleep through the night? And so we put her up on the bed and she spun around and she put her head on my chest and she slept for 8 hours.
Jesus.
And that's how we sleep every single night since then for the last 7 years.
Very sweet.
It is very sweet. That's the whole story, but that's just basically how Junie just wormed her way into our life when we didn't need or expect a new dog. Sometimes the best dog just finds you.
Oh, that's very sweet.
So check out your local shelters, everyone.
Yeah. Or just break into them and let them all free.
Or do what I did. I bought my dog off Craigslist.
From who?
Nice.
Some guy in Shrewsbury.
Will's dog is top tier. I will completely vouch. I have not met anybody else's dogs, so I can't say. But Will's dog, good dog.
Top-notch dog.
Some may say the best boy.
Some might say that. Speaking of dogs, the Royal Rumble. Sam, are you around for the Rumble?
Yes.
A couple weeks. Are you going to come to Ken's?
Yes.
Charles, you come to Ken's?
That's what I'm hoping.
Shit, are we all going to be in the same place? Should we live stream us at Ken's?
I mean,
Yes.
oh.
All right.
Just put up one webcam.
Yeah, that's it. Just one. People can just watch us.
Hot mic us.
When is it?
February 1st.
First. Yeah.
The 1st.
Oh, a Saturday. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
I forgot they
yeah.
switched to Saturdays.
Yeah. Buff Chick Dip. It's in Saudi Arabia, so I think it starts at like 6.
That's next year.
That's next year.
This is Indianapolis.
Oh,
Yeah.
good old America.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay.
So
I did tell someone I was going to go to their birthday party, and I didn't know it's the same day as a Rumble. Now I have to be like, I'm not going to your birthday party.
it's a fucking Rumble.
Invite them to
Go,
Ken's.
wrestling's more important. I'm going to go, this one. This one is.
This one, I have to break my best friend's heart and tell him like, I don't think we're doing a Rumble meetup this year, bud. Like,
Where's he?
He's here.
Just bring him.
Yeah. Could see. Yeah. Currently, he has the flu, and they've had it for over a week. So,
Well, if he's better, then just bring him with you.
Yeah.
Ken's not going to care. We don't care.
yeah.
You could, honestly, I sometimes consider bringing total strangers to Ken's house because that's how lax he is and just be like, this is why you should care at least a little bit.
I was a stranger when I went to Ken's house for the first time.
Yeah, kind of basically. And that was in Tewksbury. That was way back when.
Yeah, this
In
even
the
new
basement.
house.
Yeah, you've been to his new house, right? In Drake?
Yeah, it's the one with the big room with the theater and all the horror
Yeah.
stuff in it. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
only house I've been to.
Damn.
No, you sat on the. No, I could have sworn that you sat on the floor in his basement back in Tewksbury.
No.
That place would get packed.
Oh my god, yeah, that was fun. Anyway, enough inside baseball. Maybe you can watch us watch the Rumble if you join the Discord at top5ofdeath.com.
Hell yeah.
All right, Will, I think you're up.
All right. Let's put this back into a darker note.
The time I killed 7 kittens.
Close. This was not my pet, but it was a pet of the late great Johnny M.
I almost took this story, but I knew you were going to tell it, so I didn't.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's the same one, but
If by the end of the thing you don't tell the story I'm thinking of, I'll tell it.
sure. So this story is called "Meet Your Brother."
This is it. This is the one.
So, a friend of me and Matt's, Justin, we talk about him on the show. His father was a very unique sort, very fun-loving guy.
Oh, yeah.
He had a pet cockatiel, and he had, I believe, that were 2 like rat terrier or maybe Jack Russell terriers that were just absolute menaces. Mr. Malin came home one day, sitting on the couch, holding the dogs in one hand and holding the cockatiel in the other, and then he wanted them to get along and meet. But Sam, as you would know, terriers are born to kill small things. So as he's dangling the bird, holding the dog's neck, and meet your brother, give him a kiss, give him a kiss. The dog just chomps the bird, takes off, runs around the house,
God.
and just murders it.
Of course. Of course that's what happens.
Meet your brother. Meet your brother.
Justin's dad was distraught. It's like, what were you thinking?
Oh.
Yep.
How do we have two? How do we now have 2 birds about stories about birds being killed?
Just wait for Will's 3, 2, and 1.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
the time I killed 100 macaws.
That being said, I don't know if I'd ever want to dangle anything in front of a Jack Russell Terrier. Those dogs are crazy. They're sweet. Like they have an ability to be sweet, but every Jack Russell Terrier I've ever met is a psychopath.
Even Wishbone?
Yeah,
Oh.
especially Wishbone. He was borderline a serial killer, man. He had a costume for everything. He blended
That's true,
in.
yeah.
On his rider, he wanted pigeons in his green room.
One-eyed pigeons.
Oh my god. I used to have a guinea pig when I first got Joshua, and the first time Joshua,
Is that just like an Italian pig?
yeah, yes, exactly. The first time Joshua saw the guinea pig's name was George Lucas.
Hey, it's me. I'm George Lucas. I'm winking over here.
First time he saw him, he emptied his whole bladder. He was like that wired. And I was like, well, you can never meet. But I slowly introduced them over the course of like a year. And then they could be in the same room together, but I could never leave that room. So, yeah, that is exactly what happens.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Let that be a lesson to you. Don't dangle small pets in front of terriers.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, boy.
Matt, what
Yeah.
do you got?
So, This is kind of like a loose story because I don't even know if like this would be considered like this person's pet, but I have a friend who, when he was growing up, he was kind of like he didn't have the best of circumstances, and he was kind of like in foster homes, this, that, the other thing. He used to get in a bunch of trouble, and he was like living on. He was like a homeless youth for a while, and while he was like living on the streets, he got into some trouble, and he vandalized like an aquarium park. And like part of his like punishment was that he had to like work at the aquarium. So like I guess while he was working at the aquarium, he kind of like bonded with this like orca whale.
Wow.
And like he would clean it, and it was like and like he told me like one time he was like wiping the window to the tank that he was in, and like the orca would like follow him. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So anyway, so like time goes on, and he kind of develops this bond with the orca, and he's like buddies with it. So I guess it's kind of like a pet, but they're trying to get the orca to like do like tricks, and they ask him to help because they recognize that he has like a bond with the orca, and you know, they try to do it, and like it goes kind of okay, a little bit of a ride, but it's not going the way the owner of the aquarium park wants it to go. So the guy wants to do something about it. So my buddy says he just overhears them talking one day that they're gonna try to like kill the whale, the orca, to like collect the insurance money by like draining the tank or something like that, like accidentally draining the tank or whatever. Mm-hmm. So my buddy's like, he like develops this like bond. It's like his buddy, right? It's like his pet. Like he treats it like a pet, and he's like, he doesn't want that to happen. So like he like recruits like some like the people he's staying with, like get like these people on board to basically like not Greenpeace, but like who are those people? Oh, like PETA, like basically like PETA kidnap this fucking whale from this place, and they're gonna like just free him to the ocean and just kind of let him go. So they pull it off, right? They kind of get it's the details were insane, but for time I'm just gonna like skip them. But they get the whale in like a fucking truck, and they're like hosing him down, and they're like bombing down the highway. The guy who owns the park finds out about this, and like sends his like I don't know, like aquarium park security special agent team after them, and they're like having this like fucking car chase on the highway, and they get to the local harbor, and they dump the whale in there, right? But now the whale, you ever like see like every fucking movie scene where like they're trying to get rid of the dog, and he's like, go away, I don't love you anymore. He's trying to get this orca to like escape the harbor, and like so he bombs it down on the rocks, which is wicked dangerous because they're wet. And he's like doing these like movements from when he was trying to get him to like perform in the park for him to like jump, and like he's hesitant, he doesn't want to do it, but like the guys are coming, it's like, and he finally gets the whale to leap out of the harbor, goes over him, right over him, and water's cascading down on him, and he said like he just barely made it to a point where like he skimmed the whale's belly as he jumped over him, and the whale jumped over like the rocks and into the ocean, and like he like swam off and like was fine, and then this kid, I don't know how he did it, but basically he just like suffered no consequences for this whole thing. Wow. He just got off scot-free. I think like a judge just like took pity on him, and like I don't know, I guess the owner was kind of like a sleaze bag. But it was like, I don't know, it was one of the more crazy pet stories I've ever heard, and it just like kind of stuck with me. That I think that kid now, I don't know, I think he's like a graphic designer somewhere, but I haven't talked to him in a while. But I just remember him telling us that story, and I was like, that's fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder if he went on to like, I wonder if he was the inspiration for that Blackfish documentary.
I don't know, maybe. I think the whale's name was like Turnip.
Turnip?
Yeah.
It's a good whale name. I mean,
yeah.
It
was like Turnip.
That whole escape scene, like so cinematic, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if this was like, I guess this happened so long ago. If people had cell phones, can you imagine how many like viral views this would have on it?
Oh my god,
It'd be crazy. Yeah.
it'd be the next. It'd be the next. Not Cash Me Outside girl. Who's it now? Haktua.
Oh, she's already done. But yeah, so he was trying to free turnip. So it was like free turnip.
Free turnip. Yeah.
That's a good name for it. Yeah, I won't step on your list or anything, but listen, if there's any sort of sequel to that story, I'd be down to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you know what? I'll see if I can reach out to him and see if I can get a follow up.
Maybe he met. Yeah. Maybe he met
I
that
have him
whale
on
again.
socials. Yeah, I'll send him a message and see if anything else came of it. I don't know. Sometimes you ever see like things like they return like people like raise a lion and then they come back and the lion remembers them. So I don't know. Maybe. Will, you're muted. Yeah.
I said, you know how they say a lion never forgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an orca never believes you. That's always suspicious. You hear that phrase? You're suspicious like an orca. But yeah, that's my number 4. Call it free turnip.
Free turnip.
Yep.
Nice. My number 3 is the Great Houdini.
Let's rename the episode Shit Stories.
Hey man, when you own pets, that's what's gonna happen. So this is actually a story about Ace, who is Jess's dog, and she's told me this one before. This was when Ace was crate trained, so when she was at my work, he would hang out in his crate, and at some point during the day, Ace had to go to the bathroom, and he had to go not just number 2, he had to go number 3. It was a disaster type situation. But she came home to find not just one but 2 piles of diarrhea, one in front of the front door and one in front of the back door, and Ace was roaming free and his crate was still shut and no one was home. So Ace pulled probably one of the only magic tricks he's ever been able to do, which is he escaped his crate and tried to go out the front door and back door, because that's usually where he went to the bathroom, and couldn't go to both, so he just decided to go in front of both doors.
Gross.
Nice explosive diarrhea. He didn't want to go in his crate. So
Can't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But yeah, still have no idea how he would have gotten out of the crate, and then it's perfectly fine. Like, crate wasn't like bent or damaged. It was still locked, so pulled a Houdini.
Yeah, Junie did that once, and she's a cripple. So I don't know how they manage it sometimes, but it's like it's perfectly like, you know, not a single problem with the crate, nothing out of place, just dogs out of it.
I'm assuming since they're both pit bull mixes, are pit bulls just like one of those creatures where they can just like, even though they'll just slam their head into something and then eventually it just kind of, they morph around the bars and like squeeze through like a mouse or something. Like
Yeah, like Alex Mack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That or the T-1000 in Terminator. It just and then gets back.
Pit bulls are known for that.
Yep. They're very like firm dogs, but they're also very moldable like Play-Doh.
I like it.
But yeah, that's Ace, the Great Houdini.
Good.
Which, now that I think about it, he would look great in a cape and a top hat.
Get this man a top hat.
Yeah.
All right.
A pile of diarrhea sounds so gross.
Oh.
That's the one thing like I'm like hesitant about getting a large dog, is like when that stuff happens, I'm like,
Yep. I have I worked in dog daycare and boarding for 2 years, and I have cleaned up every type of imaginable poop out there. From
What about their
paydays
puke?
to that too. So it does not affect me anymore.
all right,
Like,
well then I'll have you
so.
come up and clean it.
Yeah. So just walk in, and just clean it up. And unless they're a Jackson Pollock, that's what we called the dogs. That's what we called the dogs who would take a dump or diarrhea in their run, and then they would just paint the walls.
I too worked in a kennel for a few years at an animal hospital, so I'm, very familiar with all kinds of messes. I even worked with this one older lady who, that typically you just use a dustpan to scoop out the bulk of it and then you wipe it down. This lady used her bare hand to scoop it into the dustpan.
No.
And I'm just like, God damn it, Jen, what the fuck? Like, use the squeegee thing. And she's like,
I'm
honey,
sorry, I
when you
just
have
figured
kids,
I'd-
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
No,
just
doesn't
put the
bother
hand
you.
on your poo-poos.
I thought you were gonna say like she like I've used my hand, but I wore a glove and it was literally like one little turd. I was like, I don't want to go get the scooper. I just open the run and like just pick it up. Just
A
toss it.
morsel, if you will.
Yeah, a
Raw
morsel
dog.
of poop. Ugh. Never barehand it.
No. Why would you?
That's so gross.
All right. Another fine transition to mine.
This one's called Shitting in My Face.
This one's called The Stinky Ascot. All right. I think this was 2019. We really wanted to do two things and to marry those two things together and do a great dog photo. One was to work with this dog called Nana, the earless pit bull. She was a dog that was, whoever had her originally just like literally cut her ears like terribly with scissors, and they never really healed properly, and so like eventually they had to keep taking them down until she just had no ears whatsoever.
Terrible.
Which is awful. But the dog was super sweet. She had like a little presence on social media. She was 14 or something like that. So she was an old dog with no ears, a pit bull, kind of a gray color. She was very sweet. But wanted to do that, and then while we were in Vegas, we really wanted to shoot at the Valley of Fire. Have you guys ever seen photos of
but I
that?
want to.
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's very close to Las Vegas. It's like I don't know, a half hour or something. But you basically go onto this other planet where everything is red, and they have this one rock formation there called the Fire Wave.
Looking right at it.
Yeah, so it's this big curved piece of rock that has all these like magnificent red stripes on it. It's crazy. It doesn't look like anything else on the planet. So we're like, oh, let's see if we can meet up with Nana at the Fire Wave while we're in town, and we'll do photos. It would be cool. Kaylee was doing this series of like pitbull superheroes to kind of like help break the stereotype around pit bulls by telling their stories and photographing them like in capes and stuff. So we got Nana's measurements and we made her like a custom superhero outfit.
Nice.
And we went to meet up with them at the Valley of Fire State Park, which took me like, I don't know, 3 months to get a permit to shoot there or something. It was just awful. But we get there and we meet up with her, and because we were so far from home, we had also rented a whole bunch of extra camera gear, like lights and stands and all this heavy shit. And we're figuring like, oh, we'll get a wagon, we'll put everything in the wagon, and then we'll wagon out to the Fire Wave. We'll shoot there. So we get there, and Nana gets out of the car, and she's got her owner with her, which is this like young, very like petite girl, and her friend, also very young and petite. And we're talking about where we want to go. We're like, oh, we want to go to the Fire Wave. We're like, it's about like a 3/4 mile walk like that way. And they're like, oh, will Nana's wagon go through there? And we're like, oh no, because it's like a crevasse with like rocks and you have to do some hiking and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that means our wagon won't fit there either. That means if Nana's not going to walk, we have to carry her, and we have to carry all of our photography gear. And I'm just like, well, between like Kaylee and these two other girls, like I'm carrying this dog because she's, 70 pounds or something like that and doesn't walk. And then we had to get all the stupid gear as well. So thus began like me. Luckily, Nana was cool with me literally fireman carrying her.
You scoop her up.
I just got under her and then scooped her up, and I was like, is she cool with this? And they're like, yep. I'm like, all right. And so I'd walk like, like 100 yards with her, put her down, run back, get like 2 big bags of like lights and stands, because they had like all this other stuff with them. Run those over to Nana, put those down, and basically that, like, the whole way for like a 3/4 of a mile hike through like rocks and stuff like that. And about halfway through, I turn to the I've got Nana on my shoulders, and I turn to the owner, and I'm like, does she ever have problems with her anal glands? And she's like,
excuse me, what?
and then she's like, yeah, she does. I'm like, okay, pretty sure it's down my neck right now.
Oh my god!
and so yeah, the dog ass blasted onto my neck, which was unique. And yeah, we continued the hike. We did the photo shoot until dark, and then did the whole thing back in the pitch black, like national park dark. And I was 1 millisecond away from like basically breaking my knee because I had her on my shoulders again. And I went to step down from like a high rock, and I didn't realize how far the step was. And so I came down with my leg completely hyperextended with a dog on my shoulders. And I noticed it at the very last second and bent my knee really quick, and I was fine. But I was like, because then someone would have had to carry me from here, which would have gone real bad. But yeah, since then Nana has passed on, but she was a sweet girl, and I'll never forget the stinky ascot that she gifted me.
Nana.
Yep. All right.
Oh man, that's so gross.
I thought there'd be less poop.
No.
I thought they'd be like, oh, then the dog took my dentures and had a human teeth smile.
No, this is the appropriate amount of poop that I expected. By the way, for anyone listening that doesn't know what an ass blast is or an anal gland problem with dogs, it's basically they have these sacs in like close to their anus that sometimes can get full, and sometimes they leak this fluid that smells like shit and pennies.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yep. Nala just had to have hers expressed.
Yeah.
Because the winter. It happens in the winter.
If they get real bad, and you can go to like even a groomer to express them. Junie used to have a really bad problem with them, and I saw her get expressed, and literally it shoot straight across the room as well.
Yeah, man, it's gross.
What do you pay $1 million for this service? Who's doing this?
Literally,
it's $15.
Yeah, like most groomers are like, you want me to do it? They're like, and they just like,
yeah.
It cost me $1,500 to get my house packed up. I would pay $1,500 for that to happen if I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, it happens. Our vet actually has a frequent flyer card every 6 times you go in.
You get one free squeeze.
Yeah, you get a free squeeze. Yeah, because some people, we have a lot of older people in the area, and it's a very like popular vet, so they just decided to do that. So we have 1 down. We have 5 more visits till we get that 5th one, that free one.
So gross.
Oh, dogs.
Maybe you could start that as a side hustle, Charles, while you're looking for work.
Yeah.
Door-to-door anal expression.
It was like,
Finger your dog for $15. 2-week warranty.
Like, does your wife happen to need a squeeze while I'm here? Oh. I don't think humans have that gland. Thank God.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Just go to the groomers in a dog suit. 15 $1 bills.
I mean, if they get
my ass.
might not come out the back, but if you go too deep, it might come out the other way.
Oh, come on, guys, grow up. Kind of
everyone's seen American Pie. It's fine.
I'll smell you later, everyone.
Will?
Yes, my number 3 is called Bob and the Skunk in the Garage.
I do not know Bob.
Yeah, he was maybe before your time when we were young. But in middle school, I had this white West Highland Terrier. And as I mentioned earlier, terriers love attacking smaller animals. We had a skunk that took up squatters' rights in our garage, and we needed to get him out. not really knowing how to deal with this, we decided, or my parents decided, well, we got this little terrier dog. Let's just shoo him out. But Bob was not very good off the leash, so he needed a companion to go in with him, which of course was my father. So my father dons a trash bag poncho, all taped up with sleeves and everything. He's got the dog on the leash, on a long lead, and he kind of just guides him. This dog's smelling around, of course. He figures out there's an animal in there, and he goes after it, grabs the skunk like a chew toy and starts shaking it about. Meanwhile, the thing's just spraying everywhere.
Oh, dude.
And eventually, after, a little Benny Hill around the garage scene, the skunk took off running and didn't get back. But my father and the dog smelled like a skunk.
Did your dad run into the house during your mom's baby shower with the skunk saying, I got sprayed by a skunk. Oh no, he's doing it again.
No,
A
not
bee
on
bit
this
my
occasion.
bottom, and now my bottom's big.
That's so good. I don't think I would ever have the balls to do that, even in a trash bag suit. I'd be calling someone right away.
Oh, wow.
Did your dog or your dad have to have like tomato baths or anything weird like that?
Well, he always took tomato baths, so it's no big deal.
Okay. It's good for the skin.
He had his own shower that was just plumbed with a giant vat of tomato sauce.
Did you ever go in there and dip your grilled cheese in it?
No, that's his bathwater. That's gross. Your dad made a pasta, meatball eyes.
What is this? One of our monsters from 2 years ago?
Oh, hell yeah.
Flowing angel hair.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
So, yeah,
All right. It's pretty good.
evict the skunk.
So my friend's uncle was a Green Beret in the Vietnam War.
Okay.
Okay. And at one of my friend's birthday parties, he gathered us around to tell us some like war stories. And so he was telling us that he was in Vietnam, and he was in like a small village, and he was stationed there for like a while and kind of grew like very fond of like the village and like their customs, and kind of like kind of became like a like a part of them, and like an adopted little like neighborhood kind of area. And he kind of established relations with the people there. And the thing that kind of happened is during the Vietnam War, it was like it was very much guerrilla warfare. There's this like village here and like village there, and this was like kind of like packs of like like enemies or whatever you want to call them. But anyway, a local another village who they found out about like this other village working with the U.S. and like a thing of retaliation, they killed like their like elephant that they kind of like the village was very it was part of like their religion, or like what's the word I'm looking for here? It's referred to as it's like a sacred kind of elephant they all kind of worshipped. And this guy felt bad about it, like the Green Beret, because like it's kind of like his fault. So he kind of petitioned. He was like, "Listen, we need this location for like strategic purposes, so we need to like fix this problem." So he got the go ahead from the military to go find like another elephant, which he did. But then there was like a problem, like a logistical problem of how to get the elephant to this other village. So
Quite the operation.
yeah. And so they came up with they're going to airlift an elephant from point A to point B. And but they couldn't land the elephant in the new village. So they were like, we can just parachute this elephant down. And it was like a crazy idea. And it had like a lot of risk to it, because like if it like it went wrong, it would be probably like really like harm relations with this other village. But so this Green Beret dude got like a little like team together, like some specialists and this and that. And they found the elephant. They got in the air, and sure as shit, they friggin' dropped an elephant from a carrier helicopter into this new village and like restoring. Yeah, there it is. Like restoring the relationship with this village, and he called it like Operation Tusker Toss, and it's crazy. I think you can look it up. I think because it's like a military thing. I think if you like Google Operation Tusker Toss, it definitely exists. But it's crazy that like my friend's uncle was this guy who spearheaded Operation Tusker Toss.
Wow. What an incredible story. I can't some of the things our tax dollars pay for truly do go to the right place.
I know. But it was wild. I guess he took all this like effort to like befriend the elephant to like get him into this harness or whatever, and it was just like, I don't know. It was really, really out there.
Was your friend's uncle very funny?
He was very funny, but he was like always ranting and raving about like how old he was for certain things and like how close he was to like retirement.
Gotcha. Did he have a lot of PTSD as well?
Yeah. Well, once he was done with the military, he became a cop.
All right.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. So yeah, my number 3, Operation Tusker Toss.
That's a great story that
story.
I've never heard of / haven't thought about in about 30 years.
It's a fun story. It's very fun.
Great.
Oh, my number 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. My number 2 is just a nice little sweet story. It's called By Chance. And it's basically the story of how I ended up with my last dog, Lexi. And when I was this is 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was working at my first production company, and the guy next to me was considering like getting a dog, and he wanted to know how like Pet Finder worked. And I was like, he turned to me and was like, why is there so many Labradors and Pit Bulls like on here? And I was like, oh, because the way Pet Finder works is you like, if it's a mix, if it's a Labrador Pit, it's classified as both. So there's like whatever mixed breeds are there, there's thousands of them. And I went like say I wanted to find a Husky Corgi mix, and I literally typed in Husky Corgi, and I looked in there, and I was like, yeah, like look at this dog. And I showed him that, and I was like, this is clearly not a Husky or a Corgi, but it's a mix of whatever. And then I ended up like a couple hours later, and the next day I ended up like continuing going back to this page looking at this dog, and then I decided I called up like my mom, because I lived with my parents at the time. I was like, I think I want to go look at this dog, and luckily my mom was like, sounds like a great idea, let's go. Went on a random Sunday. The rescue opened for us, and decided they were like, just letting you know, there are 2 other families interested in this dog. So you would technically be third in line. But she had 3 puppies, and one was already up for adoption. So like, if you wanted to, you could adopt one of the puppies if the families don't want her. And I was like, okay, yeah, like met the dog, ended up like meeting the puppies. I was like, well, if I can't get her, I'll get this dog. Actually I met her on a Saturday. The Sunday I got a phone call that they're like, hey, just letting you know, the other 2 families, they came, visited the dog, but we decided, like, we told them someone is interested in this dog, but these puppies are still available. So we ended up like pawning, like convincing these families to get these puppies. So would you still want this dog? And I was like, I went Monday, the next day, picked her up, came home, and that's how I ended up with Lexi. And it's called By Chance because I found her by chance. And then also the foundation is called the Chance Foundation. And then also to string that along together, it's the same rescue we got Nala from, which was not on purpose. I was just going through Pet Finder, and I was like, I like to look at this dog. And then contacted them, and then was looking through their page, and I was like, holy shit, this is the same exact like rescue I got my last dog from, and that ended up just being, again, by chance. So that's the story. I love that story of Lex because it was, saw her on a Thursday, went and saw her Friday or Saturday in person, and then Monday morning took the day off and brought her home. Like, that's how quickly you can end up with a dog.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah,
And how old was she at the time?
2 going on 3. Still don't know. She was either 13 or 14 when she passed last year. So one or the other. Already had 2 dogs, was already given up twice to the same shelter. So, and she had, by the time I got her, she was on her 3rd name. She was, when she was in West Virginia, she was apparently, according to her paperwork that I finally found, she was Amalia. And then when I got her from the rescue, she was Candy.
Candy?
Candy.
Yeah, the stripper dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stripper dog.
Bring it home.
Candy.
You got-
C-A-N-D. I always thought it was with a K. C-A-N-D-Y. I always thought it was with a K for some reason, which I was like, that's an extra stripper name. But yeah,
Candy?
Candy. And then I called her Lexi, and she knew that by the day I had her. It was one of those things like she knew I was her person the day I brought her home. So
Also a stripper name, Lexi.
Lexi. Yeah.
Coming up to the stage. She's got
Wait a
4
second.
legs and 6 holes. It's Lexi.
Lexi.
Why so many holes?
I don't know. Ask Charles. He adopted her.
Nipples.
Nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are holes.
Get them dog nips. That's a beautiful
Nipples
story.
are holes. I'll die on that hill.
You see, there's like a little reel clip going around. This comedian is like, I brought my dog to the vet, $15,000. And it was like, wow. It's like, yeah, fake tits are not cheap.
Speaking of weird dog names, my mom adopted a dachshund a while back, and it came from the shelter with the name Princess J-Lo.
That's a great name.
That's so fucking funny.
Nala's name was Baby Cakes, and that's what they called her. They didn't shorten it; they just called her Baby Cakes. They're like, are you keeping the name? We're like, no.
I've been
I kept all
around
my cats' names.
You did?
Yeah, I haven't named any of the cats. Bruiser came with Bruiser. Frederica came with Freddie. Evo's Eva, and
There's a ghost just opened your door.
a ghost did open my door. I think I'm being visited by a little munchkin woman.
Time
Hold
for
on.
3rd breakfast.
Their breakfast is coming up. Hold on.
Ooh, are we about to get a little birdie?
So Charles, when you were working at the doggy daycare, what was the weirdest name you saw come out?
I honestly can't remember anymore because I only remember the dogs I really liked, which I still think about some of those dogs. And sadly, I had the realization one of those dogs has definitely since passed. And I was like, oh, which was the Great Pyrenees Tonka. And he was probably one of the few dogs I had a full on bond with, like outside of just seeing this dog. Oh, is he going to put the... Is he going to put the... Oh, okay. I thought he was going to put the headphones on her.
No.
Hey.
Here's a birdie update. Speaking of pets,
Yeah.
look at
Look at that full head of hair.
Whoa.
She has
Wow.
so much hair.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Blinging it. Bling, bling.
Yeah.
Or you say something?
Say baby.
You say baby? You say baby? You say baby? Good job.
Oh.
Good job. You're so good.
Look how proud she is.
You say dada?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You say mama, ma.
Where's mama?
Can you say top 5 of death?
Can you say top? Can you say smell you later?
Wow.
Hold on. Where's your stinky
Wow.
feet? Yeah. Where's your stinky feet? Where are they? Where's the stinky feet? How about your smelly belly? Where's your smelly belly? Oh.
She's trying to get to her stinky feet.
Let me put this baby back.
Man. If y'all aren't watching this,
Just
dude,
don't try to
you're missing out on
don't
cute
try to
kid
introduce
stuff.
that birdie to a terrier.
dog names in the shelter, the two that stick out to me. One, there was a dog just named Miss Piggy, which was just very funny.
Incredible. Yeah.
But the weirdest one ever was Kaylee's dad's name is Charlie Greer. And there was a dog at the shelter with the full name Charlie Greer. It was the weirdest thing ever. We're like, should we get this dog for your dad? This is the strangest coincidence. Yeah, but been around enough shelters. I know that when the dogs come in, they're like, "What are we naming these ones?" And like, anybody got ideas? And then they'll just take whatever people throw.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't pick Joshua's name because when he came into the shelter, he was from a pretty severe abuse case, but his name was Jaws. And then they're like, yeah, let's name him Josh. Like, okay, great. And then Joshua. And then Junie's she was a stray when she came in, so they just named her Hop Skip because she wouldn't use her front leg. So I'll still call her Hoppy sometimes. Her name has since evolved into Rink for the wrinkles on her face, or Rudy. But my favorite one is Rudis the Barber Rink Cake, which he will respond to.
Speaking of names, I don't know why it's popped in my head, but I'm all caught up on My Hero Academia, and I started Kaiju number 8, which is very good. If you liked One Punch Man, then you'd love Kaiju number 8. It's like as good and as funny, and it's only one season. But so in My Hero Academia, everything takes place in Japan, but it's like a world of superheroes, and there's a hero that they call in help from the U.S., like the number one hero from the United States, and the hero's name is Star and Stripe. It's so sick. It's just
within the last season.
In the last season, yeah, season 7. Season 8 hasn't come out yet.
Oh my god, she looks uncanny resemblance to what's his name?
All Might.
All Might, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the American All Might, but just like this buff ass woman. Her power's wicked cool too. Her power's like she can change like the order of things, or like just by saying, as long as she can name it. So she could be like, all the air around Charles is gone, and then like the air would just be gone around you, and like you just like suffocate. It's pretty neat.
Well, another buff muscle mommy, which they have a lot of those in My Hero Academia.
That is true. Mount Woman. Whew.
Woo! I'm still into the bunny chick.
Oh yeah,
she's fucking bad. She's ridiculous, like ridiculous character.
Yeah,
complete badass.
Yep. But yeah, Kaiju number 8. Check it out. It's good. Where are we? Yeah. Who's up?
I'm up. My number 2 is called "Leave Me Here to Die."
Okay, I have to shut my door, but continue.
Yep, no worries. Yes, so the story takes place in Costa Rica. There is a rescue out in Costa Rica called Territorios de Ziguates. It translates to the land of the strays, and basically it's a mountain. It's like a mountaintop rescue where they have, at the time, it was 900 dogs. Wow. But I think they have significantly more than that now.
Jesus.
Like crazy amounts of dogs, because there's like a huge problem in Costa Rica with stray dogs. So they basically take them in, but they don't just like push them right back out. They like wait till the right person comes to properly adopt them back out. But in the meantime, they have well over 1,000 dogs. So they're only open. I think they're open to the public like once a month or something like that. So we got special permission to go in and do photos and that sort of thing. And it's funny. I woke up we were in Costa Rica already for a workshop that we were teaching, and by the end of it, I woke up the day of this shoot and I was so sick. I was just ridiculously sick.
You woke up doing a kickflip?
Yeah, I had a backwards hat on, neon striped shirt. No, I was ridiculously ill. Same thing, huh? That all right? The joke applies there too. I was in poor health. I was in such poor health. this was also, I mean, before COVID, when you just got really, really sick and you just did whatever anyways. And so, I was like, okay, well, I know this is important. This is the only day we can do this. So, there's no addresses in Costa Rica. And so they're just like, you go here. And then you or here are the GPS coordinates or something. And so we found the place, but like we were like 1 to 2 minutes late. And so they're like, you got to come in real quick. Cause the dogs all go out for their daily walk at exactly the same time every day. And if you know anything about dogs, they know what time it is down to the fucking minute. And so
Time.
they're going fucking bananas because they haven't gone out for their walk, and it's been like 3 additional minutes. And they open these gates, and basically like a team of volunteers kind of herd them along. But as soon as they open the gates, this flow of like hundreds and hundreds of dogs has come rushing out. They know exactly where they're gonna go, and it's wild to watch them do it. But again, because we had all this extra gear with us and everything, we had our camera bag and cameras and tripods and lights and modifiers and stands and everything. We had packed a lot of it into one of our suitcases. So I had this huge ass suitcase with me, and in addition to the regular camera bag, and the rescue being on a mountain, like the hike that the dogs go on every day is just straight up. It's just straight up this friggin' mountain, and I'm sick as a dog, pun intended. I'm in such poor health. I have all this shit with me, and we're in Costa Rica, and it's 100 degrees. And so, like, hike up this mountain, and then stand out in the sun, the blazing hot Central American sun, photographing these dogs for, like, an hour or so. And then, the dogs know what time it is, and it's time to, like, go back down because they're going to get lunch or whatever. But one of the volunteers' dogs was one of the dogs we wanted to do for the Pitbull superhero series. And this is a little pit bull mix thing. She was really small, but she was in a wheelchair as well. Her name was Puppy. She was very sweet. But Kaylee was like, well, I want to go back down and photograph them having lunch and then come back up here for Puppy's photo shoot. And I'm like pouring sweat. I have a fever. I was like, I can't do that. I can't walk down this mountain and then back up this mountain again and do the photo shoot. So I said, leave me here to die. I'm gonna sit under this one tree on the top of this mountain and just leave me here, and then come back when it's time, and we'll finish the shoot. And it was so sweet because of these like 900 dogs, 899 of them went down, like back down the mountain, and one of them saw me standing there and just came over and just sat with me.
That's so nice.
That was Puppy, the one we were going to photograph anyway. So she came over, she sat with me, and she's just like, I'm going to stay here. And I'm like, all right, it's just you and me. So I took a video of it at some point. I have it somewhere, but it's just so funny because we're completely alone on a fucking mountaintop in Costa Rica, just me and this random dog that can't walk. And between neither one of us, we're not going anywhere. So needless to say, I did make it off the mountain, but it was probably the sickest I've ever been during any photo shoot that I can remember. So yeah, leave me here to die, me and Puppy.
Well, at least you're not going out alone.
Yep, exactly. I get a little friend.
That's good.
You love forcing dogs that can't walk to walk, huh?
Listen, she was there anyways. This is her choice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Wonderful story there, Sam.
Thank you.
Will?
Yes, my number 2.
That's right.
My number 2 is called The Gang Kidnaps a Pit Bull.
Oh, okay.
So, back in my early 20s, mid-20s, I was hanging out at my buddy Carl's house, and another friend of mine happened to live next door. And my friend Balky was over there visiting him. I was hanging out at this house. We saw his dog was tied up in the backyard while they were inside hanging out doing whatever. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Balky's dog. I go, let's go kidnap it. Play a little rib on the guy. So we were, heavily intoxicated, of course, and we decided we needed a replacement dog so they wouldn't notice. So he like dug through his closet, his childhood toys. We found a stuffed tiny little dog, and we take the pit bull and we drag it back to the house we were hanging out at, and put the leash on the stuffed animal. So I thought, that's funny, go out and be like, my dog turned into a stuffed animal. The fuck?
Everyone's first reaction.
It's magic. But we got tired of waiting for him to come out and notice his dog was missing. So we decided to put his pit bull, Cleo,
sleep.
back on the leash. But not before we dug through Carl's older sister's closet and pulled out some late 1990s style club clothing and dressed the dog up in like a leopard print halter top and a skirt. And I think we even put like makeup on it or something, a little hat. We put it back on the leash, and then we get a call like a couple hours later or something. He's like, were you over at Carl's? I'm like, no. Meanwhile, we're all in the window just looking out and laughing. And he's like, oh. So yeah, it was a good time.
Chloe, you slut.
Cleo, I misspoke.
Oh, Cleo.
Cleo. This friend of mine, Balky, had this dog, and he was like traveling to Florida to work for the summers, and money was tight, so he would spend like the first couple weeks living in a pickup truck with his dog.
Oh.
Classic Balky.
That's very funny. And also, if that ever happened to me, I would find the person that took my dog and murder them. But it's very funny.
You know what I would do? I would take your dog and then bring it back with an added leg.
5 legs.
5 legs.
5. Yeah.
4 and 5.
I like 5. Make it just awkward enough where she can't walk again.
Put it in the center of her belly and a little bit longer than the rest of her legs. So she's always just like rotating on.
Can't walk straight.
Yeah, and give it like a caster wheel from like an office chair. It's just like all over the place. It's so funny.
What's the South Park joke? The wacky action bike, the bike that's hard to ride.
Wow, wacky action bike! It's a bike that's hard to ride.
one of the wheels is a triangle.
Oh my god, it's so funny. And then that same episode has Alabama Man.
Yeah.
Alabama Man. That show is so fucking good.
It is. Well, that's what Junie walks like. The wild, wacky action bike.
There you go. Who's it? Me? Number
That's
2? All right. So, this girl I went to school with, she, I guess when she was younger, she always wanted a pet, and her parents were just like, absolutely not. Like, they would like, you're not responsible enough for it, and it's like basically like forbid her from having a pet. So she was just like walking through her neighborhood one day and comes across, I shit you not, a capuchin monkey. Okay. So in her like kid brain of like, ooh, this is good, she sneaks the monkey into her house, and she's like, this will be my pet now. And like she has to hide it from her parents, and all this and that. Some time passed, like a couple days go by, and things are like going missing, and she discovers all these missing things in her room, like where she's hiding the monkey. The monkey's been stealing things. Like somebody trained this monkey to be like a thief, like pickpocket. And she's like walking around one day, the monkey's at her house, and she finds this like guy looking for the monkey, and this guy is like just like a known criminal, like a bad person. So she's like, oh shit, I have this guy's like fucking monkey, but like he's a bad guy, so she's like, I'm not gonna like let it back. Anyway, the guy like through like sleuthing discovers that this girl has the monkey, and so the parents find out that she has the monkey. She's like, well, you gotta get back. She's like, no. And like someone's like, well, why don't we let the monkey decide like who to go to, right? Either this guy that the monkey clearly ran away from for like mistreatment, or stay with this girl. And so like they put the monkey in the center, and they both kind of go to different ends, and they're both calling the monkey. And but this guy, being like a little devious man, has like a little lizard treat for the monkey, and like flashes it to the monkey with no one seeing. So the monkey's like, "Oh, food," and goes over to the guy, and like everyone's like, "Oh, I guess that's it." The girl's like heartbroken, but then like it gets exposed that the guy's a criminal and has taught this monkey to steal, and so like the authorities get involved, and they basically like arrest the guy, and now the monkey has nowhere to go, and this girl's like to her parents like, "Can I keep it?" And through this whole thing, her parents are like really impressed with like how responsible she became, like how she matured over this whole thing. So they let her keep the monkey, and she's had the monkey ever since.
How long do monkeys live?
I don't know.
Because what year would you say this story happened? 1993?
4.
4? Okay. 4 sounds right.
Yeah, well, I haven't talked to her, so I mean, maybe the monkey's passed away. I don't want to like message her and be like, "Hey, you know that monkey you have? Is it dead?" I feel like that's like a rude thing to ask.
I like to think that it's a little old man now, a little monkey cane.
Yeah, monkey cane. Yeah. I call this one Capuchin Peril. So you lay it down as Capuchin Peril.
Wow, I spelled capuchin.
My mother had one of these.
There you go. Who had one of these?
My mom had a monkey.
Did she steal it from a petty thief?
Yeah. No, it was long before my time. She was like a teenager.
All right, we'll continue on. This isn't like a... Yeah, she had
Yeah.
a monkey. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
How or why?
I don't know. Because who wouldn't want a monkey?
These aren't sufficient answers.
Me.
How did she get a monkey?
The monkey store.
I hate this.
Over. I got nothing.
What do you mean?
Oh, I definitely wanted a monkey after hearing your friend's story just now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Good pets. Charles, you would not want a monkey? Why? Because it'd rip your face off?
Yeah. I don't have any interest in owning a monkey. I don't see the upside of it. Listen, my dogs can poop. I don't need an animal that can poop and then throw it. All right.
You ever see the
Say,
clip
get
of the
those
monkey?
little diapers.
Yeah, you can put them in little diapers. Do you see the clip of the monkey hitting the grandma in the face with poop at the zoo?
I've seen several of those type of clips, but yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Did anyone watch Chimp Crazy on Netflix?
No.
It's about the whole thing of like people who own monkeys as pets, and then usually the monkeys end up killing them in some way or some other horrible outcome like that.
They're so strong. I don't understand how they're so strong.
My cousin April, who worked on the Today Show forever, she met the woman who had her face torn off by the chimp.
Yeah.
And
Did you get a selfie?
She, I don't know, but she was like, "Yeah, that story's really terrible," and because I think I brought it up randomly, and she's like, "I met that woman." I'm like, what? Why? Because they had her on the Today Show.
Which hole in the face do you stare at?
You pick one and you stick with it.
So brutal. So brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. I don't know if I've ever even asked you, Sam. Have you ever had you ever been like bitten or attacked by one of the dogs you're working with?
The only dog that ever tried to bite me, because
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. It was the funniest, weirdest interaction. It was a little dog, of course, and his owner was holding him, and basically I just oh no, I'm sorry, it was on the ground. I had to park the car at the beginning and have it. Yeah, I fucking parked the car, kid. I parked the car, so I was like a minute later than Kaylee meeting these people. So I came over, and I think it's just because I had I don't know, a bag and a light and stuff like that. And I was walking towards it. The dog just, no warning, just jumped up and tried to bite me, and I swatted it out of the air. It's sheer reflex. This thing is going right through my face. Swatted out of the air, and then I stood up and was like, "Hi, I'm Sam."
Is this the dog I'm working with?
Yeah, this would be the dog. Okay, great. But no, other than that, never had any sort of issues with that. Kaylee got bit once, not even by a dog we were working with, because, I mean, dogs, they give you signs. They give you so many freaking signs. My best friend Jay, he just got a new dog. It's a puppy, and his daughter, who's like 10, keeps trying to like pick it up, and it keeps growling at her. And she keeps trying to shove her face in the dog's face, and the dog keeps growling at her. And I just said, listen, here's the thing. When the dog bites you in the face, you cannot say the dog didn't warn me. We clear on that? Luckily, it's just a tiny little puppy thing. It's not going to hurt her, but like that's just a lesson that most people don't seem to like pick up on, is that the dog saying like, I'm going to fucking bite you. Knock it off. So the only time that Kaylee ever got bit was this random dog that was at a shelter, and the dog kind of was on a leash being walked by a volunteer, and Kaylee was like, "Oh, beautiful dog," and the dog was just looking at her, just nothing. And she's like, "Can I say hi?" And the volunteer was like, "Yeah." And so she just kneeled down, and she just like kind of put out her hand like this for the dog to smell. The dog just bit the shit out of her. just bit her hand. I yanked Kaylee back, in the volunteer
By
Oh,
yanked the
her
dog
leash,
back,
right?
Yeah, basically. And then we
They're
went
so
right
into dogs.
and we were right to urgent care.
Oh, was that
But
bad?
I mean, you can't like it shouldn't need stitches, and I don't think they would stitch it anyways. They like wanted to like be open, but they had to they had to clean it and all that stuff, and
Oh.
and then
They
she
had
had
to
to
kill
take
the dog.
antibiotics. To kill the dog. Well, I mean, actually, you know what happened to that dog specifically? It's actually another funny story. Is the woman that worked at this rescue, or like really ran the rescue, her husband invented this vehicle called the Tundra Buggy, which is like the only vehicle you can use to navigate around the tundra.
Okay,
So
cool.
she's like extremely wealthy, and she owns an island off the coast of Florida,
That's
and
expensive.
she collects misfit dogs
And just
and
lets
puts them on
wild.
just puts them on the island. And so she took this dog.
Oh shit!
She took this dog and put him on the island. So like that's a fine place for him, because he shouldn't be around people every day. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
I know a guy who owns an island, like up in like the Maine area, and I was like, "What do you mean you own like?" It's just like a small, tiny island that he has like a little house on, and it's not even like that insane of money. And I was like, I didn't know this was like a thing. And like, there's like sometimes there's just like places that just have these fucking small islands, and they someone owns them and they sell them as real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go on Zillow and just look at the coast of Maine, there are just
Tons
houses
of them.
out on islands. And then in the description, it's like, if this house is not accessible from like September to March, like you only own this for a certain amount of months.
That's crazy.
And you can only take it by ferry if you're lucky.
Yeah. That's
Yikes.
why that's a good real estate hack for anyone. Like Lake Winnipesaukee, up by us. I mean, that's so expensive to live anywhere near it. If you have like lakeside property, that's millions and millions of dollars. Unless you live on one of the islands, like Rattlesnake Island out in the middle, in which case like you have to get out there by yourself. You have to like, if you want to build a home there, you need to blast into the side of the cliff and then like build a house yourself. That's what Kaylee's aunt and uncle did. So they have like a modest little house out there, but like I think it's technically on Zillow only probably worth like $600,000 or something.
Only.
No, I mean, yeah. I think when they built it though, I think he got the land for like $30,000.
That's wild.
Yeah. Anywho,
All
who's
right.
up?
Number ones.
Number one.
Number
Me.
one.
My number one is titled Icky Buns.
Ah.
This is a story about my dog Lexi, and she, my dad decided to make sticky buns for a like a, I think it was like a work event, like dinner, something like that. So he was like potluck thing. So he was providing like sticky buns, and he freshly made them in a nice little tray, put them on the kitchen table, and he left to go somewhere, and I was just upstairs. Came back to like him just yelling about about something, and Lexi had managed to get the full tray off the kitchen table and ate like 3 of the sticky buns. And he didn't end up taking those to the potluck. But like a good 20 to 30 minutes later, I heard the standard telltale sounds of a dog throwing up. And then I turned around to look into the kitchen, and I see Lexi throw up a sticky bun, but it perfectly unrolled out of her mouth, like how you roll a cinnamon bun. Just this visual, just her just like, and then just sticky bun just unfurling out of her mouth.
Like
And
the,
then eventually, like,
like
she,
the
like,
hill
throw-
in Nightmare Before Christmas, where it just like unfurls out.
Yep. And then just like she throws it up, and then she like she looks over at us, like, and then like the other side of the kitchen, and then she just like decides to like bite back into the sticky bun she just threw up. So I went running and screaming into for her not to eat those things. And yeah, I will never forget that visual of her just throwing that up in just full reverse as it unfurls out. But yeah, I don't understand how this 20-pound dog managed to eat so much food at a time. That was like way bigger than her stomach. And that was also the first time she experienced like extreme constipation for like 2 to 3 days. So not as bad as the cashews.
At least you knew it was a sticky bun, so when this thing unfurled itself from her mouth, you had some concept of what it was, because
Yes.
I could see not knowing and be like, is that my dog's intestines? What just happened?
Yeah. But yeah, I'll never forget that visual.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great story.
Sticky buns.
Sam?
My number one is titled Bubbies Goes West / The Wishing Tree.
Okay.
I'll try to give the shortest possible version of the story. When right after Joshua, my dog, turned 11, I got a call that I was in Spain, and my parents called me, and they were like, Joshua isn't doing well. And so, long story short, he had to have an emergency splenectomy, almost died, paid many thousands of dollars for this emergency splenectomy. And then they biopsied the spleen, and they're like, yeah, he has lymphoma, which sucks. And they're like, he probably has about 8 months with treatment. And so we did the chemo, we did all that stuff. And in the meantime, we're trying to plan Shutterhound. And I'm thinking, like, 8 months from now is Shutterhound. It's like exactly, the timing works out just like absolutely piss poor. And so we're like, all right, we're going to wish for the best. And we're going to bring him. He's going to be there. And we're going to give out an award in his name. And we're going to have this big trip for him called Bubbies Goes West, where he's going to go as far west as he's ever been and get to see a whole bunch of the country while he has some time. So we get out there. We actually had my friend drive him across the country with June, because we did the whole conference. Like, he peed all over the Mirage floor in Las Vegas, and gave out his award, and we got to do all sorts of fun stuff. And then we road trip back. And so one of our stops on the way back was, we wanted to make it like, like once in a lifetime experiences and all that stuff. And I think it was either on his birthday or the day after his birthday when he turned 12. We were in Marceline, Missouri.
Hey.
Yep. And you know what's there.
Yep.
So yeah, we went to Walt Disney's childhood home, and we found his wishing tree. And the first thing that Joshua did is took a giant shit right on Walt Disney's wishing tree, which I thought was a beautiful culmination to a great trip out west. That's basically the story. What we didn't know is that, he was gonna be such a trooper. He's still here. He turned 13. We got to go west again. We went further west, dipped his little footsies in the Pacific for the first time, which is cool. And he's snoozing on the couch over there right now. So, all amazing stuff considering the diagnosis we were given. But I think just a highlight of that trip out west was him very specifically shitting directly on that wishing tree.
Jesus.
Fuck you, Walt.
Listen, maybe that's his way of doing a little wish himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
speaking of specialized pooping. My dog does this every time I take him to my father's house, where he will shit like one time into a 5-gallon bucket that was just sitting out in the yard. Backed his butt up into the bucket, full of water. And I'm just like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Also, we had some piers, concrete columns that were in the ground for a shed that never got built. And my dog goes over right on top of one of them. It's like 12 inches up. Just placed it perfectly in the center. Another time, I was taking him to my mother-in-law's house, and I've got my poop bag in hand because he always gets nervous and poops before we go into a place. He backs his ass up to a chain link fence and shits through it, so I can't reach to pick it up. And I'm just like, well, I'm not going to jump the fence.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He's really going for style points with the poops.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Number 1. Bubby's
a
Goes
good one.
West / The Wishing Tree.
Alrighty. All right. Will?
Brings me up. My number 1 is called Jake Was a Good Judge of Character. Now, Jake was kind of my childhood dog. He was a German Shepherd, maybe like Aussie or Border Collie mix. He was a fantastic dog. We adopted him from some local rescue where they found this family had a litter of puppies, and the parents didn't give a shit. They were just going to let them all die. But the
Jesus.
kids were like feeding the puppies, trying to keep them alive, feeding them raw hamburger.
Oh.
So, all the puppies had like heartworm and all this bullshit. I think some of them didn't make it.
Jesus.
We ended up, adopting Jake. He turned out to be a great family dog, but he was a bit on the skittish side. Like Sam talks about, there is an appropriate way to approach a dog, and there was a couple of people in our lives. The first one being my Uncle Ron, who is basically a mirror image of George Costanza. He even grew up in New York, so he has the accent. And he comes over at the house one day and just barges in unannounced. So the dog is like, "Whoa, who the fuck are you?"
You can't
Chases
fucking
him
be
out.
in here.
Chases him out the door and bites him right in the ass as he's running for safety. And then he comes back inside. He's like, "Okay, I want to pet the dog. We got to get on good terms." And the dog's now like, this is an enemy. So we're trying to like hold him, and the dog's like, he's like
Trying to literally
"Well,
take
I
away
wanna
his
pet him."
his flight response by holding him.
Then there was another incident where a guy that worked for my dad, who was very forthcoming, very like right into the face, and he just comes in the house, hey, go right up to the dog, leans down into his face, and the dog just bites him right in the face, puts a hole in his cheek.
Oh my god.
So he had to go to the hospital. Of course, my dad paid for it, but when he told him what happened, that created a note on record that my dog bit someone. And this is tracked by, towns and cities. Flash forward, I don't know, sometime later, we had a mailman that loved the dog, and we tied him up on the porch, and the mailman would come up, give him a treat, and go about his day. Well, one day there was a different mail person delivering.
Hey.
The dog comes running up around the corner. The guy gets scared and sprayed him with pepper spray.
Oh my god.
To which my dog Jake responded by biting him in the ankle or the calf. So another incident written up, and then we get the call from the local dog catchers that we're going to put your dog to sleep.
Oh,
Because he's a bite risk. And it was awful.
That sucks.
Really, really sad.
That's when
So
you
we
go,
had like
okay.
a
good luck.
week's notice. Yeah,
that's
just set
not
him free.
happening. Yeah.
No, but it was, there was nothing we could do really. And they're like, okay, well, we'll come pick him up next week. And so like we just had this time of grieving. The day before he was supposed to get picked up, I took him to McDonald's, got him a whole ass value meal, ice cream cone, feeding him hamburgers, chocolate, whatever, because why not? It's the last meal. And then the next day we get a call from the dog walker. Says, my truck broke down. I'm not going to be able to make it, so we're just going to give him another chance.
What?
What if he dies because we fed him all this shit?
It's not like I'm going to come back tomorrow. It's as like, nah,
Yeah.
he can live.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm grateful for it. And he never had another problem again. Lived another, 3-4 years.
Wow.
What a fucking turn. I was fully ready to just be like the launch into my "you don't hate government enough" fucking tirade.
Hold on. What local governments can do that? Like,
If your
You're like,
dog
"Oh,
has
yeah."
got records of biting, then they can come take him.
I mean, they're gonna have to take them like they're gonna have to come take my guns.
Right. Yeah, like I feel like
That's
Well,
that, or I'm moving.
I
That's
feel
what's
like
happening.
the context of like the biting needs to matter, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like if a person comes into my house and puts their face in front of my dog, and the dog gets bit, it's like sure there might be some like civil whatever between the owner of the dog and whatever, but for the government to be like, no, we're gonna take your dog and euthanize it, I feel like is such gross government overreach. Because it could just be like, okay, well, then I'm gonna move my mailbox to the end of the street and don't come on my property. Like, it's simple as that. Like, there's no reason for anyone to be near my dog that would be a risk. And like you being the owner and your family assumes all the risk, but the dog doesn't. Right? It's kind of like, when someone, poor example for the timing, but like, hit somebody with like a car, they're not like, all right, listen, I'm gonna come take your car. It's just like it's the person driving the car is the one that whatever. I don't know. Fucking again, you don't hate the government enough.
Yeah. But well, that's actually I like that you gave them the whole like
That's so
food and
funny.
like this is what they get the last time. Hilarious turn of events with that, but like I kind of did the same thing with Lex. I was like, you get to have chocolate now because it was obviously a scheduled thing, but I was like, you get to have chocolate now. You get to enjoy this. Like, so, which is how that being said, that or you can be like my shitty uncle, and anytime he watched my dog and he went to McDonald's, he got her like a double cheeseburger.
Hell yeah, good on.
Nice.
So
I get these dogs McDonald's all the time.
Hell yeah.
There's a plain cheeseburger.
Oh my
Hell yeah.
god! No. You come home with McDonald's when I live with my sister and she had her dog Primo. That dog went fucking ballistic, but only McDonald's. If you came home with Wendy's or Burger King, did not care nearly as much. You came home with McDonald's, that's it. That fucking couch was getting tipped over because he'd be running around. It was bedlam. You just had to eat it. You just couldn't bring it home. That's how bad it was. But
Yeah.
Good old Primo. He was the Great Dane who thought he was a lap dog.
yeah, well, he was a bull mastiff chocolate lab
okay.
mix. So the
Big
look
boy.
of a lab,
The size of a Great Dane.
the size of a fucking massive. He was so funny.
That's a great number one.
Yeah. All right, my number one.
yeah,
All right, so my number one.
Hear it.
Can I
My
guess?
my number one is it's a short and sweet story. It's more of like just like there's not a lot of detail here. It's more of just like the miraculous thing that happened here. So my friend's family was going on vacation, and they had a cat and two dogs. So they brought them to a relative's house, so the relative could watch the cat and two dogs while they were away. All the animals ran away. All of them. The cat and both dogs.
wow.
So my friend was like devastated. So when they came home, right? Imagine being on vacation, coming home to like get your pets, and like they're like, oh, by the way, they're gone. We don't know where they are.
Yeah.
Right? It's on like a ranch. It's in like a wooded area. So they were like, well, let's look for them. So they started looking for them, and like basically when they were like they were like throwing in the towel, like whatever. They fucking first the fucking cat came running over, right? Then the fucking bulldog came running over, and then the fucking other dog, the golden retriever, comes fucking limping over, and then you're like, what have you guys fucking been up to? Right? Like two of them are fine, and one of them's fucked up, covered in mud. But it's like, how crazy is that all of them came back at the same time? Isn't that wild?
That's like
What are the chances?
yeah.
Pretty slim.
It's like they were out there like, just trying to like, I don't know. It's like they had some sort of direction that like made them homeward bound or something.
It's crazy.
They just knew.
Who knows what happened? They could have like encountered a bear, right? They could have got stuck in some mud, which I mean, obviously something happened with some mud. But it's fucking crazy. From like
Incredible.
from their perspective, that story is just that.
Wow.
Seems like they were on a really amazing trip.
Yep. I call that one "Coming Home." That's the name of that story.
First time I heard that story, I think, was the first time I ever cried hearing a story.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's heart wrenching. But
I feel like a lot of your stories we could like encapsulate in some way in like a bubbly case. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Like a puffy case that we could put these stories in.
I mean, like a clamshell case.
Yeah, that seems like something that could house a lot of these stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Those are,
everybody have any honorable mentions?
the time my lab growing up met me at the bus stop when I get
very
home from
cute.
school. By itself, she watched us come home from the living room window every day, and then one day she got out. My mom took her out to go to the bathroom, and she got away, and she was just sitting at the bus stop where I got off the bus, which the bus driver was like, "Oh shit, there's a dog here."
Oh, there's a little dog.
Yeah, and I was like, "That's my dog," and then walked home with my dog. Oh, great
That's cool.
dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any fun butts?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, okay. Jesus, I'll settle in, I guess.
Settle in. Well, first up, we have Headman's Pride.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. He's been in here before because I recognize the avatar. But number 5, the day Oppie, my chocolate lab, became a ladies' man for the neighbor girls, and now their side of the fence is the first place he runs to when left outside.
Nice.
4, when I brought Scruffy, my poodle mutt, to my grandfather's farm, where he immediately took off from the car to chase the cows in the field and spent the rest of the afternoon cuddling with the calves. 3, when I took Scruffy to the nursing home with me to visit my grandmother before she passed while she had Alzheimer's, and he calmly sat in her lap the full time, letting her pet him. Apparently, he's normally an asshole about letting people hold him while me or my girlfriend are around. 2, the day my girlfriend first brought home Fancy, my Chinese crested. At first, I was upset. I didn't want another dog, and I specifically didn't want another small dog that barks at everything. But within the first 15 minutes of me meeting her, she jumped up into my lap, looked straight into my eyes, farted, and yawned in my face.
What a gift.
He's been my sweetheart ever since. And number 1, last Tuesday, after having to reschedule 3 times over a month and a half, finally got Fancy her surgery and is officially cancer-free. That's incredible. Next up, we have Minchment, fresh to the fun butts. Number 5, when my wife rescued a cockatoo from a hoarding situation, and in showing me what a sweet bird she was, she latched beak first onto my face like a feathered face hugger. 4, it says, when my sweet wouldn't harm a fly Aussie caught and crippled a rabbit.
Nice.
Yep. 3, the time my mom got some furniture polish on the floor and my childhood dog ran across the slippery spot and Tokyo drifted into a wall at full speed.
Deja vu.
2, my wife telling me there was a kitten staying in her porch and we needed to adopt it. By the time I got there, another cat kicked the first one out and chose us as his family forever. And number 1, my dog helping load the dishwasher only to get her collar caught at the bottom rack, panic at full speed through the house, dragging a whole dishwasher rack, leaving a trail of surprisingly not broken dishes.
That's amazing.
We have Dad, number 5, Maisie, my off-leash camping companion, one of the best dogs I ever had. Problem with her, though, every time she pooped in the snow, she was compelled to eat it, not the snow.
Ooh.
Good old Tuma Maisie.
Number 4, my cat was getting bullied by another cat, and my dachshund chased the bully cat away. 3, he put happy. 2, New Year. 1, Jeffrey, my female cat. We had a little hill in our backyard we dubbed Murder Hill, where she left all her presents there. Next up, we have K-Funk. Number 5, my dog Bree, he puts R.I.P., would snuggle under blankets with you. She refused to have a blanket between you and her. She had to be under them. 4, when Bree was groomed, she would do a thing with her ears that made her look like she had a bob haircut and would call her Susan for a week or 2 until her ears grew out again. 3, Kona, my current pooch, watches me out the window when I leave for work, greets me at the door when I get home, and sits at my feet at the morning when I drink my coffee every day without fail. 2, as a child, we had a golden retriever named Casey. Casey was 120 pounds. That's a gigantic golden retriever.
Yeah, it is.
With a lion's mane for a coat and was absolutely insane. We took him to no less than 3 different dog trainers. The last one said, this dog is basically retarded. He's huge for his breed and does not comprehend commands of any kind. Casey would get out and off leash, and as you chased him, he would hide in the field of tall grass next door, and it looked like a legitimate lion was stalking you in the Serengeti while trying to capture him. He also always headed towards I-95 when he got out, we lived only a few houses down from an overpass. He was really a special dog. The night I went into an abandoned apartment and found my cat, Zora, which he has a bunch of names, Kitty, Dittos, Meowko, Funyama, so many names. When she was just a kitten hiding under a bed in the back room, I went under there amongst the cat poop and pee and dead mice and got her, then carried her inside my sweatshirt on a cold night in late October a mile back to my apartment, which didn't allow animals, while she clawed the shit out of me. She then disappeared in my apartment for 2 days. I figured she got out and ran away somehow, but she eventually showed up to eat the food I had out for her, and then snuggled with me after I petted her while she ate. While snuggling, she started sucking on my earlobes and purring so loud. This was 18 years ago, and she's been the real boss of the house ever since. Next up, we have Gray. He only has 3. I moved across the country for work. I got my dog Macy when I first moved out there. Every day I took her to a new place to go for a walk, hike. We explored so many places together that I probably otherwise would not have gone. 2, my dad came home with a box of potatoes, asked us kids to put away the potatoes, but inside was a new puppy.
Oh, nice.
That's
Which are like,
incredible.
Dad, there's no fucking potatoes in here. It's just dogs.
It's just a bunch of corgis. And number 1, I started dating a girl. One of the first things she told me was, if her dog doesn't like me, then it probably wouldn't work out. Her dog was very neurotic. Her dog loved me and me and the girl got married, and her dog slept curled up next to me every night. Oh, so I guess that's how he met his wife.
Does he bang the dog too?
I'll have to ask him. Next up, we have Ryan Brown. Number 5. The time I held my goldfish underwater until he came back to life.
What?
I need more details.
Hold on, wait. So was it out of water when it died?
I guess. Like,
what the hell?
I wonder, did he like swim it around inside the tank with his hand?
just
Don't
come back.
give up on me.
Number 4, my college dog Chintz would wander campus and rape Indy, the other fraternity's dog.
Cool.
3, the
I
time
think he meant
Chintz
every
chased
other fraternity.
every other fraternity. Okay. 3, the time Chintz chased a hippie off our 4-story roof deck into the neighbor's tree.
Hell yeah.
2, the time Chintz pissed on my buddy's girlfriend while my boy was busy doing her. Oh, excuse
What?
me, boning her.
Oh.
And number 1, when Chintz got senile after being a frat dog for 15 years, he began guarding the wrong house. I was woken up.
Chintz, that's not the house.
This dog ruled.
You shut up. You're a danger.
I was woken up one afternoon by 4 sorority girls who he wouldn't let get into their house.
Get out of here, devil woman.
Honorable mention the time we received an IRS letter from Mr. IMD Chinzer, outstanding credit debts due to everyone using his name to join Columbia House and get free CDs.
Oh man,
Chintz was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have Bulky Mania. Number 5, the time my dog Chaz ate my sister's underwear and needed help pooping it out.
Nice.
4, the time my parents' white German Shepherd and Dalmatian mix got loose and tore apart a little dog that a 9-month pregnant lady was walking.
Jesus.
The Dalmatians are fucking crazy. Number 3, when my Chihuahua mix Lily wouldn't stop chewing holes into the walls every time I went to work.
Lily.
2, when my pit bull Cleo, the sweetest dog ever, was getting terrorized by a toy poodle and she wouldn't take it anymore, so she pinned her on the ground, and that little bitch without biting down, and that little bitch poodle screamed and everyone at the park got pissed at me and made us leave. I feel you.
Charles
And
knows.
yeah, and number 1, when I had to eventually give up Cleo and she literally went to go live on a farm and made her best friends with a duck and a raccoon.
Dude, sick.
Is this the same Cleo?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Bulky. Oh my god, I
Yep.
didn't piece it together. And that's the fun butts.
Nice. All
Yeah.
right.
Ryan Brown, you got to post a photo of Chintz if you have one.
Yeah, let's get a Chintz. Give him his own fucking channel. We should treat
Yeah.
Chintz like Bill Brasky in SNL and just make up new stories about him.
That's great.
All
right.
That's awesome. All right. Well, great job, everyone. We'll be here next week, as far as I'm aware. And smell. Anything else before we go? Anything else? No. Yes. No. All right. Well, smell you later.